that way in some certain book, but so we do that with our friends and family members as well.
Yeah.
And
I just had some friends come from Croatia, and they're like, yeah, man, you Americans are fucking soft.
yeah,
They're just like, the way you baby, like, each other nowadays is just, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of bullying. There's just a lot of absolute nonsense over here. Like, me gusta como con la boca me pones el condón. And I remember just like hearing that. Welcome to the Any Last Words pod. My name is Earl Lonnie Hooks. A very, very special thanks to everybody that will be joining us today on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, as well as YouTube. And please do not forget to follow us at ALW Pod on Instagram. The God in me honors the God in each and every one of you. Today, Chris, thank you. That's my little monologue at the beginning. Nice. Thank you very much for coming here today, Chris.
Actually, my pleasure. Thank you.
I told you that we would get you here. I bet you at some point in time you said, this guy's such a bullshitter. He told me he was going to have me on. Because we talked about it like for the first time, what? How long ago was it?
Last year.
That was last year.
Probably a year ago, yeah.
But then you went on your globetrotting thing that you do.
Well, now that just keep telling about the whole meeting you, but it was actually I had to go home to renew my passport.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yes. But I was coming from Vietnam.
Yeah. Yes, I do remember that.
After living 5 years there. And then my plan was to like basically stop in America for a while and then continue to Venezuela, renew my passport, and then go back to Vietnam.
So just, you said this word 5 to me twice now in like the past 10 or so minutes. The last time you said it was you haven't seen your friend here that you brought today. Hey, Pedrito, thank you for coming today. But anyway, you haven't seen him in 5 years.
He went to visit me in Vietnam 5 years ago.
See, and that's kind of already what I want to talk about, because a lot of you know how you come off. Like, you're a very pleasant, just like jovial, wonderful type of human being. Like, people want to be around, you know this, like people want to be around you.
I know.
But you like other people as well, right? So it's like, it's not like you're like an asshole and just people.
I mean, I try not to be.
Right, you know what I mean? But some people can be assholes and they still have like this sort of narcissistic draw to them, right? And
I'm not.
Don't seem to be that guy.
Yeah, no. Not
How does it feel to be able to have friends where, like, if you're in Vietnam and he's in Ireland?
Yep.
He's coming over and hanging out with you. You're going over there hanging out with him. He's now coming over here. You guys are going to the football game, and
I'm probably going to visit him next year in Ireland.
Right. So you got friends. You're talking about stuff in China. Like, you have friends
all over the world.
All over the world. Like,
really good friends. I'm not talking about like just friends. Very good friends. Like
that will take a flight to come see. Yeah. Some people won't. You know, I have friends. They won't come see me that live 10 minutes down the road. All right. So like and a lot of people have those type of friends, but you are creating connections with people in a way that
you're gonna make me cry. Yeah,
in a way that a lot of people don't. Though.
Yeah,
and you're aware of this.
I am fully aware.
And have you always been this person? Well, where did this come from?
Always. Like, I basically back home, and I was just telling him this last night. I started going to parties, like big parties, when I was like probably 8, 9, 10 years old.
Hold on a second. Wait. Hold on. Hold on a second. What do you mean big parties? Like what do you mean? Like
clubs and shit like that. So I'm the youngest one from like my family, right? I got 2 siblings, a sister and a brother.
Okay.
My sister is 6 years older than me.
Okay.
And my brother is 10 years older than me.
Oh, wow.
So I was that cool kid that will hang with his friends, but also with my brother and my sister's friends.
Okay.
Now, like, so some of my sister's best friends and my brother's best friends are, I don't know if we probably don't have a word in English, but in Spanish you call it like, so I am the godfather of their kids.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we have also a name for the parents and me.
Yes.
It's called compadre and comadre.
Okay.
Like co-parent.
Compadre. Yeah.
Co-father, co-mother, yeah. So yeah, and they were basically telling my brother and my sister, bring Chris, because then you guys are going to be allowed to stay longer because he's here and mom and dad are doing their thing at home. And I was that cool kid that they would like hang with me as well. They taught me how to dance. They taught me how to drink and then do stuff. So yeah,
That's important though.
yeah.
Teaching someone how to drink, that can't be underrated.
I started drinking not 8, of course, but I probably at
12.
14.
13,
14.
Okay, so 14 here. We're freshmen. Like we're freshmen in high school, which isn't crazy for people. I didn't start till like my senior year. Like I was up there. I was like 18 years old before I really started like drinking. Yeah, like even giving smoking a chance. I think I tried to smoke like senior year, but it didn't take well.
I never smoked. Not even like I tried with cigarettes, but I didn't like the smelling and the smoke.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So I never smoked in my life. Cigarettes.
Right. Yeah. So you never even gave it a chance. You just would be around other people and say, "Ew." Like,
they will do it. I would like more drinks. Yeah, like would be like, hey, just give me a beer or like give me something.
So starting to drink at 14 that isn't completely crazy, but they taught you how to drink.
Exactly. So like I am a responsible drinker because of my family and the way which is a thing that
it was presented to you.
Exactly, which is a thing that I don't like about first world countries, because the kids, they want to drink, but they're not allowed. So it's like forbidden for them. So it's something that like they have to break that rule, because like
of course.
And then when they're 21, they just go crazy.
Oh yeah, no. When you're 18, you can go to war though.
But not to that's it's very. I don't want to say that word, but yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
It's crazy, yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like the things that what? Like I don't understand. Like what are we saying? Right? I mean, what we're really saying is, like you can go die for this country. Like we can have you go fight for
at a young age, but definitely not like you can have babies, but not like do other fun stuff because it's legal for you. Yeah.
I find it so interesting, like where people draw the line of like what is ethically correct and what is not, because it gets so shaky. Because okay, I can send my kid off to war, right? But you can't drink. But you can drink when you're 21 and as much as you want, but you also can't do these drugs, right? In all of these drugs, I mean, I'm talking about things like maybe psychedelic drugs.
Yeah.
Right. But you can't do these. I mean, these are not addictive drugs. People use them for therapy of different sorts. Like you can't do these, but you can drink as much alcohol as you want to, which kills people every single day, just like these cigarettes we're talking about.
Yep.
But you can go. It's just, and this isn't me like just blaming people, because as you go through life, you have to figure these things out, right? Like everything's not just going to be perfect, and you're not just going to make one fell swoop and cure everything. So it takes time, but it is interesting.
To me, I think those rules are because alcohol was probably one of the oldest ones. So like the one that people will try the first, because it's a liquid. So it's like, something that you like.
Yeah.
And then probably someone left a juice of any fruit and then it fermented and it became something drinkable, and people were like feeling it.
Yeah.
With drugs, it's more like you have to go out there and then find them for you to like. And then I think people are very afraid of like what extra those drugs can affect them, and then what can they see in the brains. They're not ready for that yet. So.
Oh, yeah. No. I'm also not a proponent of the idea that everyone should do them.
Yeah.
That's also not the case, because no.
In Venezuela, in Venezuela, yeah, I'm from Venezuela, by the way, sorry. We skipped that part. In Venezuela, it's a very taboo thing, like drugs, because it's a very religious country, right? But alcohol is fine.
Catholicism mostly? Or?
Yeah, Catholicism. So my name is Christian Jesus, which is basically Jesus Christ. Just flipped it. And my mom was like, that's another story there. Yeah, it's crazy, but good. So yeah, I feel like my personality and the way that I am, it's because of how my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, and my other family and friends raised me. I was very comfortable. I was very privileged to be born in the country that I was born, in the city that I was born, and in the family that I was born.
in the time that you were born.
Probably too, because I'm from '87, so people keep saying that like the kids from like the '80s and like early '90s are like the best ones because they got to see like different evolution of like the life and technology and all that.
Yeah.
So we got to learn about like no internet time with internet. Like we got to read magazines and then read like on tablets and stuff like that. We got to,
man.
Yeah, so we got to listen to music and like these tapes and like create mixtapes. And then now it's just like Spotify and like digital stuff.
Creating a mixtape.
We got to see all that. It is, I think it was a good life. But it's still a good life.
No, that is. And it is still.
Yeah.
I think we're both lovers of life.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe a lot of the reason why we're doing this right now.
100%.
But man, those things you're talking about, like magazines, getting your hand on a good magazine.
Smelling the paper, like,
Yeah.
So good,
I can smell it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can smell it. And you said make a mixtape. There's certain things, I've talked about this before, like texting, like if you're growing up right now, like texting a girl in class, right, isn't, one, you have to get her number. So that's one thing. So it's not the same as like writing a note, like writing a love letter, and knowing that you have to pass this through like 3 kids for it to get to her. You know what I mean? And like you also have to try to like unfold it and read it so the teacher can't see, like all this sort of stuff. Like now, again, this could just be me getting old because this is what old people start to do. But damn, do I think that there was something in some of these things. Making someone a physical mixtape? Are you kidding me? A physical mixtape and you have to go and deliver it to them, or you have it mailed to them or some shit like that?
Yeah.
It's not the same as just putting something together on Spotify and then just sending it to someone's phone.
It was production. It was time that you were putting there. It was effort. I'm not saying that there's no effort right now, but it's easier.
It is easier.
Faster.
Well, I mean, that's what it is, right? Like technology is here for convenience.
To make your life easier.
Yes.
Some people say that like they make it complicated for some of them. Like,
How so do you?
I mean, the messaging, or like they being on social media all the time instead of like, or like no visiting family because you just a text or a message away. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, well, see, you as a natural talker and again, globetrotter, you probably are able to see the difference between the way that maybe you can hang out with people and the way that other people can. Because you have to see that art being sucked out of people. Because I know I'm watching it.
Yeah. No, I can't do that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but like I'm always on my phone on social media, but I'm not in touch with my friends. Like I don't message, like if I message them, it's like, it's random, it's not always. So like.
What are you usually on? Is it
everything?
Like Instagram?
Like Facebook, Instagram.
You do Twitter?
Snapchat, Twitter.
Oh, you do it all? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm.
TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've done videos and stuff.
You're on. Oh, I could definitely see you doing videos. What are you doing? Like dancing?
Like the tricks with the camera where like you switch.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those.
Yeah. I
like the little like transitions
videos.
Yeah.
I think I've done like maybe like 20. I started, during COVID because I wasn't working. I was in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Life was pretty good there, so I was like, why not? Like, let's just have fun. And it's actually fun, but it's a lot of work.
I know. I don't want people to think that like TikTokers are just. People always do that. This is what I don't want to be. Since we're talking about getting older. What I don't want to be is the type of person that gets older and then completely shits on everything that the younger generation is doing, right? And we can't take away is making a TikTok, painting the Mona Lisa, maybe not, but it is its own thing, and everyone does not know how to work that fucking thing.
Exactly.
I'm one of them. I don't know all the different functions and exactly how deep all the functions go. And I don't know. And I think that it's always so easy to say, well, that's easy or that looks easy. You're like, well, maybe they made it look easy.
Yeah.
But if you could have did it, like, why don't you do it? Maybe it doesn't even occur to you to do that little dance or do that transition or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And it not occurring to you and it occurring to someone else could be a talent of theirs.
Yeah.
Like they can have an eye for it and be like, man, it'd probably be really, really just like a director. Like, man, it would, because that is what you're doing.
It is, yeah.
Like what? Like it would be really cool if I use this angle. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely don't knock that stuff. I've seen people's reels on Instagram and like these women. They're
all for it. Yeah,
they are amazing.
Yeah,
they throw reels up and stuff, and I would have never. Like they're really, really good.
Yeah.
Not only that, but just selfies over the years. Like women understanding angles and lighting and the makeup game. It's all amazing.
But that's the thing. So I feel like also, if I'm not in there, like I'm gonna be judging and like, saying like that's easy, whatever. So I just get involved. I'm like, okay, something new. Let's try it.
You can't beat them, join them type of thing. Like, fuck it, man. Like, let's
try it. So I can also create conversations with that, because like the younger generation, they're talking about those topics, and I can be like talking to a 19 or 20-year-old traveler. And then about like something that I don't know. About at least I need to know a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want to just be trying to talk to them about fucking Nintendo 64 and passing notes back in class and
making tape.
Yeah, they're gonna be, what the
they will
fuck
be like, what exactly?
About? So you can't say the word. You can't say the letters VHS to a fucking 15-year-old.
Probably that guy doesn't even know, and he's just turned 30 years old.
VHS, DVD.
Yeah,
like we got to at least do DVD.
We were talking about the Discman. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, but that was after the Walkman, and he's like, "Oh, but I had one that it was called Walkman as well." And I was like, "I don't think so, because I had one. It was called Discman." And then we searched online, and there was the first version was called Walkman, and then they changed it to because it was a disc instead of like a tape. But, I don't want to be that person, and I feel like that's part of how I was raised in my personality. My brother and my sister are completely different than me, and we were raised in the same household.
Mine too.
In the same thing. My brother doesn't even drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't party. Like he knows how to dance probably just because of my family. He loves sports and fixing cars. Like he's a mechanic.
Okay.
My sister, she has and he's single.
He sounds like a man.
And he's single and like no kids, no nothing. My sister, on the other hand, she has a family. She got a husband, 3 kids. She got like 2 degrees, and like she's the one that like is more responsible.
Did the things.
And then did the things.
Did the things.
Thank you. And then there's me, the black sheep that travels all over the place, that leaves, his hair grow and
shows his ass on Instagram.
Exactly.
You're hilarious.
I'm mooning a lot of people. I dress different. Like I like colors. So like I like try different things. And my persona is very open to also like get to know other people, because it's interesting. Like you get to see interesting people a lot.
I think when I told you that we should have you on the podcast, you said like that you've had thoughts of having a podcast.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
So I don't know if I was telling him or maybe another friend. The idea that I had was to basically interview my friends.
Right.
Because they were very interesting people. And I was like, my podcast was going to be like probably Chris and friends or something like that. And I would just always interview a different friend of mine. I got like friends that are psychologists. I got friends that they are like doctors. I have friends that have like, they're contortionists. They're like, they work for a circus. They musicians. They like, so it's very interesting people. Yeah. And I thought I need to start, working. I procrastinate a lot.
Yeah. Plus you probably, I mean, actually, because I was going to say, and you're on the move, but that's something you could do on the move. I mean, it was something you would have to do on the move. Like you could just bring your equipment with you. Then when you go to these other places, like, hey, let's record an episode.
Let's record, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But that means that I have to get time off working and making money in order for me to do that.
Right, of course.
And then,
you figured it out in the past.
I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I have to figure that out. And, it takes time, and I procrastinate more in the meantime, because I'm always like partying and meeting people and
yes you are.
So it is.
Yeah. Do you feel like it keeps you young or something, or like that's where your vitality comes from, or is it the opposite? Do you think that it's just a circle?
It's both.
Yeah. They feed each other.
It makes me feel young. And the energy to like going out and meeting people, it
allows you to do it more. Exactly. And it just keeps feeding itself.
Vital. Like I'm living life.
Right.
I mean, so
how old are you?
35.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You definitely
35, single, no kids, no home, just a suitcase and a passport. That's it. Which is not
that's awesome.
which is not the greatest passport, but it's not a bad passport. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
that's a privilege having a passport. My trip to Venezuela was literally like for someone else, let's say you in America, a week just to get a new passport. If you lose your passport, for me it was 6 months. If I lose my passport right now, I'll probably just cry because like it's just so hard to get it.
Yeah. You keep it like locked, like in a very particular.
Dude, I've got pictures everywhere just to not carrying with me because they ask for IDs here all the time. And I'm like, I can't bring my passport. This is a picture. If you don't allow me to get in the place or drink, that's fine. I respect that. I'll go to another one. But I won't bring my passport with me.
Smart.
Yeah.
I guess enough places allow that picture to. So yeah, I mean, because it's like. You're not under 21.
But,
you know what I mean? Like, don't be an asshole. Let the guy in.
Yeah, but also I got like my Venezuelan ID, which is like also like if I lose that one, I don't care because I can make a copy of that one and get a picture. But I can make a copy of a passport. That's illegal.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Don't. Yeah. No, that's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't need to take that route. Damn, man, that's awesome. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who started talking to you about privileges? Like, why? Like, this is a big part of your vocabulary.
I think I started learning maybe like 3 years ago from some friends from South Africa. And then like I knew I used the word before, but I didn't understand the concept until they started explaining to me all the things that I was like living and how my life is the way that it is. And it's because of all the privilege that I have. And it's like, where I was born, I mean, the family, the city, the country, my skin color, the way that I can pick up a new language or like, you know, my personality, all this stuff are privileged.
So did that come from them because like, were you guys in some sort of fight because maybe you were like denying privilege?
No, it was just a normal conversation.
Yeah, okay.
We were talking about stuff like we were talking. So basically what happened was like we were living in Vietnam at the moment and I was comparing a lot of it. So Vietnam reminds me a lot of back home. It's very similar to Venezuela. So every time we were doing something, I would be like, in my country, we just do this or like we will do that.
Right.
And then they were like, you know, in some point they were like, okay, well, we understand, we know. And I was like, no, but I have to explain to you because of that's probably why I'm here. You know what I mean? Like it creates that path for me.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about life in general. And then they got to explain to me that thing and many other.
So at first it kind of seemed like you were like bragging, like you were just doing a bit too much. It was like, dude, we get it. Like,
yes.
That's really like cool, man.
Exactly.
Like, all right.
Yeah,
like, have you got it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you definitely don't want to be perceived as that guy.
I also told, two of my friends, I saw them yesterday and I told them that I wanted to see, like, so he was coming to visit me. And they're like, but you were in New York not long ago visiting a friend. It's like, that's the same friend. He's coming now to like Virginia to visit me. It's like, oh my God. And then I told them that after like next week, there is another friend from Venezuela coming to visit. So they said like in a joking way, and I know that, it's like, oh, Mr. Popular and all that stuff. And I was like, no, don't take it that way. You know, I'm just trying to like, that's my life.
Like, yeah, like this is what I have coming up. Like if I was someone else, they would be like, oh, I have work. I got to go to this appointment. I got this thing. I got to go to the court. You know, like these would be things and you would have no issue with that.
Exactly.
I'm just telling you what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks of my life.
In my life, yeah, that's my life. But then I feel sometimes, not all the times, that people sees it as I'm bragging.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm not traveling because I just like it. That's my life. Yeah, I do it a lot. And
that's nice.
Yeah.
How long have you been okay with being able to just like state these things? Or do you still kind of struggle with maybe feeling like you're bragging to people? Or are you just like, they'll take it how they take it?
I never feel that I'm bragging until there is a joke about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until like someone says something. And that's when like, oh, okay, well maybe I'm talking too much about it. Yeah. So then I'll kind of like tone it down a little bit, but that's it. It will never affect me. Like, if you don't like it, then that's you. You know, it's not me. But
I think, there's something in that deeply that resonates with me, which is, I I mostly ask questions about other people.
Yeah.
Like I mostly ask questions and sit back, shut the fuck up and just listen, because people love to talk about themselves like they can, and so, yeah, I'll just let them talk and, ask things, because as you are, I am genuinely interested in people, because I find them to be infinitely fascinating.
Yeah.
Even when they find themselves completely, just like
the
vapid
opposite. Yeah,
people. Yeah. It's whatever. I've had that conversation a million times, and they're always like, "Why would you want me on the
it's just
podcast?"
in here.
It's just in there. It's just in there. Wow. Like,
yeah, no, I'm definitely. I also came to realize that I'm conscious of consciousness.
okay.
So I won't allow my brain to take over what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? Like, so if let's say like some other friend told me like, "Oh, you never get angry," I was like, "No, of course I get angry." But I'm not allowing myself to do that because of something else. You know what I mean? Like an external thing, like, nah.
Yep.
I'm wasting my time and I'm getting angry and I have to get happy again. And I'm the one feeling bad.
I got to get happy again. Now I got to get happiness momentum going again.
Exactly. So not happening. I won't allow that, to happen to me. So I work in that, hey.
Yeah, so that's why I listen, because if I talk for too long about myself, I'm only going to have like nice, like happy things to say. And that can be, misconstrued or taken the wrong way. So, I try to find like little Zen ways of being conscious and aware of how I'm speaking about those things when I do. And then again, I just try to ask questions about them, because usually people I'm talking to need to speak a whole lot more than I do.
Yeah.
Like they have a lot more that they really need to get off and talk about. And so to
me, I have a problem, and he's just laughing about that, and we're making jokes about it, because I keep telling people to not hear me, but to listen to what I'm saying when I'm explaining something. And it's because I'm trying to get to a point for them to understand that maybe I'm not just bragging or not telling you a story. I'm like, and you need to understand the whole thing, right?
Yes.
And then they keep like, or even trying to interrupt or something. I'm like, hey, listen. But then I say that a lot as well. And mostly when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Listen.
Right.
I tell them like, okay, I'm trying to say, I don't know, like back in the days when I was like 12, I started drinking. It's like, oh, but what were you drinking? It's like, no, like calm down. I'm going to that point. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting there.
Yes.
Just listen.
Yes. I'm telling you a story.
But I feel like there is also a question of time. I don't think, and like you're saying, the other person wants to be heard as well. So they were like, okay, well, how long is the story gonna be? Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes? No, I want to talk about myself too. And yeah, it is like a cycle thing, but I do listen. Like sometimes I just shut up and then, give me your information.
Yeah.
Because that makes me also like, I'm learning, from your experiences, from the stories that you're telling and all that.
Yeah, I take conversation the same way I think about music and dancing. And like if you're in a band or, you're dancing with someone, you have a dance partner. Yeah, they can have like the little solo or a moment where it's really all about them and the spotlight's on them. Like that's cool. But then it comes back over and then it's us again. And then maybe I get my time and I get my solo. But like
that's actually a good way to put it.
Yeah, but like for you to just, because if you're just gonna dance by yourself, there's no point in me being on the stage here with you. Like I should just go sit in the back with everyone else. Like what are we talking about? So like I get that. I think that there's a thing about economy of words, and people are willing to invest in listening to you if they think there'll be a big payoff. If like you're telling a story in a certain way and it like grips someone, they're like, oh shit, like I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Like this is about to be crazy right now. Like this shit is
the good stuff.
The suspense is crazy right now. So they'll do that. I think that people will be willing to listen for a while. I mean, we're just having a conversation. Who knows how long this will be? People are gonna listen to this whole thing. It's just us talking. But it's the bumps in the road, it's the valleys, the mountains, all those types of things that cause something gripping. I was just
also telling him, like, we call it the green roads, because those are the roads back home where like there are no houses built around, so you take those green roads to avoid traffic, avoid it. And then in a conversation you also take those roads to make it interesting, because otherwise then you're just talking about something else. There should be connections with other things.
Yes.
So for example, for you to understand how I met him, I have to go back and be like, okay, well, I went to China and then we did this, and that's also an interesting story how we met.
Well, what is it?
So basically, China is all blocked from the regular social media. They have their own social media.
Yes.
They have a firewall.
Yeah.
So there's like you as a foreigner or as a citizen there, you can access to this social media, but through a VPN. I wasn't using a VPN at the time, and he basically found me on social media because I was the only one that tagged, the company what I was working for in China. So he messaged me on Twitter asking how was the company, all this information. He was still in Ireland. I didn't read that message. This guy came probably 2 months after. He arrived in China, started working for the company, and he started hanging with some of my friends. So we went together to this club or like this bar, and he was already drunk. So what I did was like the bar has markers to like draw on the walls and stuff, and I drew on his face. I literally did like a whole makeup thing because I like to used to mess with people.
Yeah.
And the guy woke up the next day and got really angry because he couldn't erase like the whole makeup, the whole thing, whatever. It's like, who did this? Then my friends were like, yeah, it was this guy, but you don't know him because you never met him because you were drunk. And then eventually they told me, my friends were like, hey, this guy's, he got angry because of what you did. I was like, I'm just telling him that I'm sorry. And then that week, I don't know why, I looked on my Twitter and I saw the message. And I'm like, oh, I saw the picture. And I was like, it's the same guy who's going to kill me now. Like, oh my God, it's the same guy. He's working for the same company. He definitely knows that what I did, he's going to kill me. And then the next week, we went to a different club and he saw me. He's like, yeah, I knew what you did. And I got angry, but it's okay. And I was like, dude, like I just do that with my best friends. So, like from now on, we're probably going to be very good friends. And we are.
That's hilarious. Yeah, because the fact that he sent you a message, you hadn't seen it, meaning you hadn't responded to it. And then you follow up with a prank. It's like, okay, hold on a second. Like, is this guy fucking with me now? Like he didn't answer me and then he did this? Like, yeah. He's got some balls on him.
No, well, yeah, he kind of like knew the day after because he was sober at the moment, but
yeah,
he didn't know who I was until...
until afterwards, yeah. That's fucking hilarious.
I know.
Well, it probably wasn't hilarious. It wasn't hilarious at the time that it took place.
Oh, I did it afterwards, like maybe 3 more times. So every time he was getting drunk, he would like...
Okay, because you are a partier and clearly you like to joke around. So are you like a serial prankster? Like, is this something you do when people sleep a lot?
Well,
now it changed.
it depends. It's not like I do it to everybody and all the time. No, it's like mostly if I'm in the mood of like messing with someone at the moment, and I know that person is kind of like close to me.
Right.
I didn't know him at the time, but like he was with my really good friends. So he's one of the group. You know what I mean? He's one of the bands. Yeah, I wouldn't prank everybody.
It's like something funny and rambunctious about men. Because like I don't think women do sleeping pranks.
Yeah, they done. Yeah.
Yeah, like my dad used to tell me that they would, if you fell asleep around each other, like they would light a match and like put it in between your toes and then just sit there and just wait. Yeah, exactly. Like weird shit like that.
Dude, we used to when our friends will get super drunk and black out, we used to like crack an egg, get the white, and just drop it in the middle of his underwear. So he will touch the next day. He'll be like, oh, fuck, what happened last night? So you know what I mean? Like, we do that a lot in Venezuela. So then the next day, the guy will literally just feel like that
just
slimy.
Like this goo. Like, what the fuck happened?
Last night, yeah. And he's yeah. Their asses are all like covered in like that slimy stuff. Yeah, we do that. We man, yeah, we're tough. Like it's hard to explain to people how we basically roast and bully each other and like and prank each other in Venezuela.
But you said we're strong, so you feel like, or you're tough. Like
that makes the community tougher.
Yeah, you feel like it creates resilience.
Yes,
yeah,
that's a good word. A lot.
Yeah,
the way that we treat people. We can be very rude, but if we see that you're not expressing rudeness, then we know it's a joke.
Right.
Or if we know you, that you're a close friend, you're a friend, then we know it's a joke.
Right.
I won't so they call me, my nickname back home, because I'm the shortest one, is midget. Like they literally call me enano.
Oh, okay.
All my friends, and that's cool. I love it.
Right.
But if someone that I don't know calls me that, I'll be like, whoa, yeah,
yeah, like hold on a second.
Exactly. Why are you calling me?
Why do you feel so comfortable?
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be like, no, bro, like, chill,
Right.
you know. And then I'll allow him or allow her to call me that way in some certain point. But so we do that with our friends and family members as well.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I just had some friends come from Croatia and they're like, yeah, man, you Americans are fucking soft.
yeah,
They're just like the way you baby like each other nowadays is just, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of bullying. Nothing wrong with just a little bit of poking and prodding and just fucking
I like
around.
that. Pushing buttons.
Yeah.
Yes, you should push a button, and you definitely know which one to push. You know, like you start learning.
Sure.
You start learning from that person. You get a deep connection with that person because it's not only like, oh, I know what good things you like about life. I also know what bad things you like, the things that you don't like.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll kind of like prank you in that way, but I
your
respect,
weaknesses.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
Your weaknesses, the things that you want to get better at, right? Because, I mean, one way you could look at it is if I know those things that you really, because they're sort of their aspirations in a sense, right? Like you're poking at these things, and in a sense, you could see them as things that maybe that person aspires to no longer be held by, right?
Yeah.
And maybe they're not giving it too much attention unless someone's fucking acknowledging it and poking it, and they're just like, all right, man, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta figure my way out of this thing so they can't like fuck with me in this way anymore. So that is a way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is that's traumatic for people.
I'm always looking at the first way. Always, for everything. Always.
Right,
100%. I'm thinking that the other person is going to understand what I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. And that's basically what I do all the time. I push buttons. Like
you hope. You hope.
I hope.
Because my thing is, I'm with you. And I love joking. And I think that clearly, as everything I just said, I feel like we should be able to fuck around with each other. Like we should be able to point out absurdities and things that are going on and be like, come on, man. Like, how seriously are you really taking this? Like, like how far are you really ready to go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not that big of a deal, really. Most of this shit isn't. You know what I mean? Like we should be able to laugh at ourselves, because here's the thing: I'll never, ever, ever in my life make fun of other people before I make fun of myself.
Exactly.
Like I'm gonna get it too.
I'm gonna get it too. You were definitely like people might think that you have to like everybody or everybody has to like you. No, like people are gonna make jokes and stuff like laugh about yourself first. Like make sure that you know you're like, you know, that your whatever weaknesses or like things you have, and then you can do that to others, or like not kind of like do it, but like, you know, you can joke around.
Yeah, you can fuck around. Because again, when somebody wants to do that to you, you're cool with it. It's like, bro, we're still sitting here having a good time. I know that you don't mean to break me down as a person. Like
that's what happens in Venezuela a lot, and that's why I think that we're a little tougher, stronger than other cultures. It's just because of the way we speak.
Yeah, I think that's important. I mean, that's the way I grew up with my friends. I think a lot of black dudes just like roast each other all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah, especially growing up. Yeah, it's just a part of like black dudes roast each other when good things are happening. That's how black dudes will compliment you by roasting you.
But we do the same.
Yeah. Okay, so you get that.
I will say part of the Venezuelan, like I think half of it, maybe more, because of, you know, the Spaniards and all that, slavery. We have a big group of like African, you know, culture and stuff. So maybe also that comes from that bloodline, you know, I mean, like those mixed things that we have there in Venezuela.
Yeah, no, that's very true. I mean,
we do that. We roast for good things as well.
Yeah, people forget about that with the triangular slave trade, that like slaves were placed in many other places than just like Jamestown, Virginia. like there were plenty of slaves.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I was telling a friend about this telenovela I'd watched like years ago called La Esclava Blanca.
Okay.
And the woman wasn't actually a slave, but but she was a slave to something. So the telenovela was sort of like teaching, like, what is she a slave to? But she was in love with an actual slave, and this was like a slave show, and they were trying to find their way of like rebelling. But it was in the Dominican Republic, I believe.
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah,
they have. Yeah,
you know, and they're black people, or they look like black people. Because they are
black, yeah,
and they speak Spanish,
yeah.
like, but that blows certain people's minds. Like, oh shit, like that's just a black dude, but he's speaking complete Spanish.
But dude, like, there is a country in Africa that speaks fluent Spanish, Guinea Equatorial, something like that. They speak fluent Spanish. There are countries that they speak fluent Portuguese because they were colonized by these people before.
Well, yeah, same thing as French in Africa.
Yeah.
Like, there's huge French
and
out there.
then when they started bringing them to like all the other continents, all the other places, and they started like merging with other people, and we got black Venezuelans that speak like fluent Venezuelan.
But that's why so many other places they speak more than one language, because they've had a much older history than America has. So like there've been all this colonization and wars and people fucking fighting their way out of some shit. Like what do you call it? What is July 4th? Day of Independence, right? So like you're just your independence.
Got free, we got independent from someone else or something else.
Like there's so many stories of that, and then there's just like all these different like ideologies that came through, and religions that came through, and languages that came through. So America is just like one of those places where it's like English.
But then, exactly. But then that's when, I feel like the sensitivity part comes also in play. So we had all these situations, but also maybe someone started like to making jokes and to do things about it. And instead of like going so, straightforward, like, no, you can't do that. You can't say that. Let's put rules. We're like, no, well, let's try to like manage, the cultural thing into like we're just friendly, and then we just roast, and then we just bully like just a little.
Yeah, because I definitely don't want, because I would never want to hurt someone. Like if I said something to someone and then they just like broke down crying in front of me, I'd be like, oh fuck, I'm so sorry. I'm so fucking sorry.
I've done it. It happened. Yeah, and I've learned my lessons. Sometimes I stop saying things, because of that. Yeah,
that's the worst, when it's like in jest, like you're trying to have a good time, and then it happens, you're like, oh no.
When you were asking me about privilege, how I learned that, I learned about people like bipolar people in a similar situation. So I made a joke with, which is actually one of my good friends from England, and I triggered something, so he went on the other side, and he's like, fuck you, like, I don't want to speak to you, and I'm like, dude, like, what did I do, like, what happened? And then the whole thing and then the same friends, like the other girls, explained to me about privilege. They were like, you need to go home, and then we'll talk to you tomorrow. No problem. Like, don't think that you're like, we'll fix it.
Just go home.
Exactly. Just go home. And then
just create some distance right now.
Exactly. That's all they need.
We don't hate you. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
And then the guy, has a degree in psychology, and he explained to me with details, because he's like, I call him, have you seen Friends?
Yeah.
The show? Ross. He's basically like Ross with like dinosaurs, and he's with like everything. So he will explain to me in detail, because he knows like you need to understand this, so, like all this stuff. And I'm like, man, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, and then we're good friends now.
By the way, as a guy that was a psychologist, and he knows this about himself, was he having any sort of practices to try to
probably
manage that?
Probably. I don't know. I feel like I've been in that situation as well, thinking the same way, because he should know how to handle situations like this, right? But sometimes I guess the brain is just too powerful for them, and then they need that extra push from other people. So that's where the girls were there for. And then they're like, no, we're glad that we're here, so you just can't go home, and then we'll talk about it. You know, we sort it out, and it's going to be good.
I had a doctor on here before, and we were talking about the patients that come into the hospital, and there's so many people that just like, they just won't give a shit what the doctor's saying. Sometimes they don't understand what the doctor's saying, so they don't take it as serious. But there are just so many times where the doctors themselves don't take their own medical advice. And it just seems that whether you're a doctor or just a regular person, we just seem to give our friends great advice. But we don't fucking take a lick of that shit.
No, not only the doctors. Like I feel like that's everybody.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
You talk with anyone about relationships, and they're gonna give you the best advice, and then
of course, and then they're gonna go date a fucking asshole that treats you like shit, and it hits you and all sorts of shit like that. Yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
it's so crazy. It's like the only people that really take their advice are like physical trainers. Because you see him, and like you're clearly working out. Like you're the only one that actually does what they tell other people to do.
Yeah. Well, now, so this is the same friend that had like the episode. I don't know if I can call it episode now.
I think it's the episode.
Okay. He's actually now a personal trainer, and he focused all that into like the fitness part, and like he's a coach now, which is like I'm very proud of him.
I want to talk to more fitness coaches and ask them this particular question. If you're a fitness coach of any sort, hit me up on my Instagram at ALWPod on Instagram, please. And answer some more of this in detail. When it's your job to give a fuck about somebody's health or someone's well-being, maybe that's the job. It's a little bit of the job. More so the job is what it is they're paying you for, which I guess is to show them how to give a fuck about their own health, right, in various ways. Where do you draw the line between carrying out that objective, caring and teaching them and trying to hold them accountable for what they're doing and what they're not doing, and also relinquishing your power because you actually have none over what they do? Like, I want to know how difficult that balance is for people, because people, that's life. I want to ask it from trainers because I feel like they'll be able to give me very specific answers to specific things. But it's people in general. Like if you have children, you can't control them
because everyone is human. So
you can't make them, right? They're a human.
Yeah.
You can guide them.
Yeah.
You can help them. You can support them.
Yeah.
You can try to teach them, right? Bestow some sort of wisdom that maybe you've gotten from experiences and allow them to do with it what they will.
Yeah.
But how do you, that must just be a daily fight of balance. Like I give a fuck about you, but I can't ultimately ruin my own mental health overthinking about everything that you're doing all the time.
That's just brain stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's the brain of a doctor, of like a person who knows about health or like about mom. Like they have to be working on this, and then at some point, like they're still human. They're still like, okay, am I doing something wrong? Did I, follow the steps that I was supposed to be following? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I hope someone can answer that to you.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Fitness
awesome
people, get in touch.
For me, because now that I said those words, I think about gaining any sort of remnants of wisdom as I go through life, and friends of mine or acquaintances of mine that maybe haven't gotten those, and having, I liken it to vampires. Like I thought vampires are very cool. I think that one of my favorite characters from like a book is Dorian Gray, from The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I think it's like it's an awesome idea of if you had forever to live, like who would you become? Like what would you do? What would you experience? What sort of wisdom would you hold? Like how would you look at people? How would you navigate life? Like, just you at 100 years old, but you're with the same physical body you have now, the same mind. Then it's how do you at 200 years old, 300 years old? That
will be, dude. I just read an article about a French person that basically committed an assisted suicide because that person was exhausted. I don't know.
Just exhausted.
Yeah,
they were like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this.
Exactly. And but I think about that as well. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm like, whoa, when this is gonna end? Like, what is the episode like? And I'm only 35. Imagine if you're like 50 or something. I can't imagine that. Imagine like 75.
Yeah, I was about to say because 35, you could theoretically do what you've done on this planet at 35 2 more times, right? So you're young,
yeah.
Right? Like you could do that 2 more times. Think about that. How crazy is that? That's exciting, though, right? As long as you just stay healthy, to a certain degree. Like, you can do what you've done on this planet 2 more times.
2 more times. Yeah.
But the whole point I'm getting at is this wisdom that you get through the time, and like seeing all these different iterations of people, like versions of people, and soaking in all the wisdom that you get from all the different conversations and all the different exchanges, you gain something very profound there. And if you don't see your friends picking up those things, just like those vampires and those people are going to be living for millennia, they have to watch people that they love die over and over.
But that's the thing.
And over.
Do you want to live the life? Do you want to have that much knowledge that is gonna basically make you aware of things that you actually don't like? So you probably won't be like at 200 years old. You probably won't have any friends because you will be seeing like so many people doing these random shit that you already done like 100 years ago. You're like, that was stupid. But then these people are keep doing it because they're learning.
But you may start looking at like humans a completely different way, because at some point, because you won't be a human anymore, right? Like, you'll be something else, something that is immortal, eternal. So you'll probably start looking at them as completely different beings, and you'll just be like observing them, like, oh, like, wow, like this is like, they're kind of like I was 500 years ago. Like, wow, this is what I thought was going on. And like, you start getting to this psyche of, well, I'm the only one, assuming that you're the only one that you know, right? Eternal person. It's like, wow, like you get to look down on people like specimens, which scientists already do.
Yeah.
But imagine just feeling like you were a completely different type of being.
You're an entity that's
it may grow in interest. It could grow,
but to me that's
it could be vapid and vacuous, and again.
But to me that'll be prison. Like you want to be free of like all the thoughts, and like you want to go. You want to like. I mean, unless you're like you built a fortune during all these years, then you still have to work. You still have to like. Or either like suck people's blood, like I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like you need to do something to keep that life, and that's prison. Sometimes I'll be like, no more than like 75 years old, maybe like 100, no more than that.
Right? Yeah, you.
But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, and the only point that I'm getting at is, for me, that balance between caring and then also having to just relinquish power because you don't have any power. So it's just really you're not relinquishing. You're just acknowledging that you have no power, right? No powers. Over what your friends and whoever does, even though you care about them and you want the best, and they're making a bunch of shitty ass decisions and you see it. They can't see it, but you see it, and you're just like, I don't know if there's a thing about, like, I'm not closed off from anything. So I don't know if there's a thing about various lives that you live, but for some reason, it seems that some human beings pick things up intrinsically much quicker than other people. And it's like, you can be, for some reason, 35 years old, but it feels like I'm speaking to someone with the vitality of a 15-year-old, but the wisdom and experience of a 60-year-old, right? Squeezed into one person. And like that's everything. Like, that duality in life is everything. You want to get older and wiser and younger and play with more playful at the same time. Like,
I'll see the same from you. You know what I mean? Like, I feel the same way, which is, it makes me feel happy because I'm not the only one. And I know I'm not the only one out there. Like, I know that. But it is, like, I've got everything that you're saying. Like, I feel 15 years old and I feel sometimes 60 in my brain. You know what I mean? Like, I get this mix of, like, things. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a good feeling sometimes. Or most of the times. It's not so great when, like, I will say maybe you keep, like, people keep thinking that you're bragging. You know?
Right. Like, yeah. So, I mean, well, listen, that's going to be what it is. Like, you'll never, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like, you can't cast the net that wide, right? Like, everyone isn't going to just know your heart and know your intention. Some people are going to come into things with preconceived notions. So you had no fair shot in the fight in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, so you just got to let that go.
We will say that, like, in Venezuela, there is a saying, we are not a gold coin. So everyone shouldn't like us. You know what I mean? Like you're not like a gold coin that everyone wants to have you. Or like, you know,
right.
So we already have that. You know, basically the memory card that says like, hey, you're not like special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so don't
That's
worry.
awesome
like,
though.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, like you're not.
Kids.
Yeah, just
you're
like
not that special. So
yeah, like you're cool.
Yeah.
Listen, we love you.
Yeah.
Great. Love to have you around.
Yeah.
Relax though.
Relax. Yeah.
Relax. Yeah. It's perfect.
It's like I don't think my mom ever thought that like I was gonna come out this way. You know what I mean? This personality.
Yeah.
Because of my brother is not like that, and my sister's not like that.
Oh, right. So she probably had you and was like, what the?
What is happening?
Like, hold on a second. Whose baby is this?
Man, my dad, when I started singing in English songs that I really liked, it was like when I was like, I don't know, 6 years old or 7 or something. He would look at me and he's like, are you crazy? Like, do you actually know these lyrics? Like, what's going on?
Right.
And I didn't understand the language, but I knew how to pronounce the words.
Yeah, so you knew the phonetics.
It made it easier for me to like start liking the language and everything.
Well, yeah, music has a huge effect over that, which is why they use music in order to teach us things. Like, I bet you most Americans couldn't say the ABCs unless they said A, B, C, D. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a thing. That's why they use fucking jingles and commercials. They're just like, I'm certain you can
capture someone.
Yeah, they just capture you. That's just what it is, man. But it's beautiful for that. That's why you can just memorize a song in no time that's really catchy, that you really like. But, you know, are you going to remember someone's speech?
Yeah,
I don't know. Like,
well, that's actually true, and that happens to me. Like, I've seen most of my friends like telling me quotes from books or movies or something. I was like, how do you remember that? Like, I remember that something similar happened, but like I don't specifically know the sentence or the words that like, you know.
See, so for books and ideas, that works for me because I'm like a collector of ideas. So when I read something and it strikes me because for whatever reason, this author was able to sequence words that I've probably already known, or maybe not, but sequence words in a way that created a pathway.
And it resonate with something in your brain.
Yeah,
like made you think of something.
Exactly. And then because it made me think of something that was profound and interesting, and then I had to go further down that, I'll always remember what brought me there, which is like, they said these words. You know, and then that cascaded into all of this other shit.
But how do you remember those words, though? Like, I could tell you, like, hey, I read this on a book and it says something similar to this. But I have friends that they can actually like,
word for word.
Yeah, so I can't do that.
Yeah, some things I can cite word for word. For the most part, it's just paraphrasing.
Yeah,
it's like it was along the lines of this. That's really all that mattered. It was along the lines of this.
Yeah.
And it made me think about this. And then it made me do this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so music definitely like it's one of my favorite things to like, you know, I like to dance. I like to listen to music when I'm like sleeping or showering or something, whatever. I like to listen and like pay attention to the lyrics. But I don't know how to play instruments. Like, I don't know how to create music.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
you're just an admirer.
Yes.
You're an admirer of music.
I've never understood that because I'm like, well, if you like all these things, but like you don't have that part to like create it. You know what I mean? I went to a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert last week in DC, and it was so great. Like, I was watching them, but also thinking at the same time that they weren't able to watch their own show. You know what I mean? Like, they were just working for the audience.
Oh, is that how you look at it?
No, that's how I saw that specific concert.
Right.
Because of the way that they were working. They seemed to be like having a good time, but that good time was working for them. I wanted for them to see how the people can see what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think that if you find something you love like deeply, then you don't have to work.
It won't feel like working.
And if you're just like jamming, and it's just like, they're just here. Like, they just came here, but we were probably going to do this anyway.
Yeah.
And you just start jamming and going crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely something in that. They'll never be able to get the full, like, collective consciousness perspective of what, the mass of the people are getting. But what they do get is feedback because,
The people are excited.
like the people could just be like, like it could be, one of those moments where everyone's just super quiet, just looking up, or everyone's just got their hands in the air and it's quiet, or everyone's fucking just raging out, but you're getting something from them. You know what I mean? So, So I feel like my brain kind of works that way sometimes. It's like, I feel like when my friends and I'm interacting with the public, you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting that feedback from my friends. I'm like, I get this guy to visit me. I get to visit other people. Other people like basically host me in their countries. I feel that way. I feel like I'm doing my work, right? But I'm not working. Man, it's just living. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I think more people would want to say some shit like that. I think that that's really dope. I was having a conversation with my friend yesterday, and just speaking on this sort of feedback thing. Even though at the movies, the people that made the movie aren't getting the feedback, but boy, was there feedback there. The movie 8 Mile. Did you ever see that with Eminem?
Eminem, yeah.
This was one of those films for a lot of people that, new age shit, because we all have all these streaming platforms and people don't go to the movies as much. I saw this movie in theaters.
Okay.
And this whole movie, Eminem is getting shat on by everyone, right? He works at the shelter, doing whatever the fuck he's doing at the shelter. He's dating Brittany Murphy. She ends up fucking his friend because she's trying to get in the music business. His mom is like a drug addict who's dating some dude that he went to high school with for money, and she's not taking care of her child. And he lives in a trailer park and he's trying to rap, but he's a white guy in the middle of Detroit. Like, it's like
what a life.
It's
right?
A lot of shit that he's going through. And he gets his ass whooped by like the rivalry rap gang and shit. And at the very end of the film, he's got to finish off like this one last guy in a rap battle. And he knows everything that this guy's going to say about him. It's everything I just said. Mm-hmm. He's going to lay it all out for all these people that don't know him. But he wins the coin flip and he takes the microphone, Eminem, and then while he's rapping, he tells everyone everything about himself. And Wayne did fuck my girl. And I'm still standing here screaming, fuck the free world, right? And then the last thing, he gives the guy the microphone and says, now go ahead and tell these people something they don't know about me.
It's incredible.
And the fucking, when I tell you that theater erupted into like something fucking beautifully, chaotically, symphonically,
like an
triumphant. Just, like, it was in fucking insane. And that type of shit, that sort of feedback, Eminem's not there in the theater, they're not there, but I feel they have to know like the sort of impact that made. And so they don't get to watch. Maybe some of them do. I bet you some directors and some just
go uncover, to the theaters. I would love to do that.
Oh, if my God. Imagine
if I was Eminem, I will definitely do that. And like,
if he did that, could you imagine feeling the crowd when they erupt and like that was, oh my God, that's insane.
But that's probably what you're saying about an artist on stage feeling when the crowd is, when they put the microphone to the crowd and every single person knows the song, the lyric of the song.
Insane.
It's probably the same feeling.
Insane.
If Eminem was just like listening to these people like, just going crazy on that last,
because it was the most triumphant moment of all time. Like, yes, he fucking won, and he won in a noble way. And that's really my point here, which is a lot of the reason why I do this podcast. Now, again, your podcast, you said, would be a lot more interview-esque because you have like a ton of interesting friends, so you just want to ask questions. This is a whole lot more just, off the fly conversational based, but I do a lot of this because one, it started as therapy, like straight up therapy. But you give so much of yourself the more and more you talk. Right?
Yeah.
Like you're like, people are watching you, people are listening to you, and the more and more you talk, the more of yourself you give.
Yeah.
Right? Because they can hear things that you think that they're not listening to, but they are. They can hear things in your voice, right? I believe deeply in a like a 8-mile way of life, meaning tell the people about you and then take away everyone else's weapons, right? What do you guys have to say about me now?
Yeah, but
I'm willing to self-deprecate. I'm willing to talk shit about myself, joke about myself, be vulnerable, wear my heart on my sleeve. What can anyone else do to me at this point?
that is what I use social media for. That's why you see me posting like almost every single thing that I do. And I let the rest, criticize or judge or whatever they want to do with that information. But like I don't do it with only that reason. Like the main reason is to create memories that I can look, like
it's a crazy page
and stuff, or I can show to other people. But also like I'm traveling all the time, so like my mom can see what I'm doing, and like because I don't communicate, it's always a chain. You know what I mean? Like what I told you before, that it's hard for me to communicate through like messages or phone calls. It's not only with friends, like with my family. Like I spoke last time with my mom like 2 months ago. And then with my brother, I spoke maybe 2 nights ago. But like it was the first time in over a year that I talked to him.
Okay.
But I know that he's looking at my social media, so he knows what I'm doing.
How do you conceptualize that? Like, was it ever hard for you? Were you ever, I'm clearly projecting right now.
Yeah.
Have you ever been guilted for not being as good as maybe someone would have liked for you to have been in regards of communication? Like, why don't you call me as much? Or like, have you ever had to deal with that?
Yes. With my sister, with my best friend, and with some other people. Yeah. My sister basically like messaged me or messaged my best friend, and then my friend called me. It's like, hey, your sister is crying because she doesn't know about you. Like she's messaging you, she's whatever, and like you're not replying. And I was like, but she knows, like she's supposed to know how I am, right? And so I messaged my sister. I was like, listen, if you want to ask me, like, don't go to my friends. Just tell me how are you feeling. Like, I'm not gonna get mad at you telling me that, but I'm not gonna change. I'm trying to. I tried, but it's not happening because I just like
it's not happening.
It's not happening.
It's not me.
It is not me.
You know what? When did you figure that out? That it's not you?
Long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
like before your 30s.
Ooh, yeah, like probably when I was like 18 years old.
Okay.
I basically, so I give other things instead of like, the messages and stuff. Unless, we're trying to like plan to meet and something like that, I will definitely communicate with you. But if like, I will try to like make sure that I'll say happy birthday on your birthday. Or like, I'll make sure that like, if I'm with you, I'll create memories. So then in 5 years, we're okay. We go back to the normal stuff.
Exactly. We pick up right where we left off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I definitely believe in that. The way you leave someone, like you leave a certain taste, a certain odor, right? And when you get back, they're just like, oh, fuck, it's you. Hey, like last time I saw you, we were having a great fucking time. What's up, man?
Happens all the time with me.
Yeah.
Because I leave that, mark. I'm like trying to like, hey, well, I hung up with you for like at least 2 days, but it was good. Like I went to New York and I visited a friend from Venezuela. I graduated graphic design school with her. And since graduation, we never seen each other. Like I know what she's doing. She knows what I'm doing because we follow each other in social media. But I haven't seen the girl for all this time, right? And then I messaged her like, hey, I'm going to be in New York this weekend. If you have time, I would love to see you and like maybe just have a beer or whatever. And then she agreed. She was like, yes, let's go because I like you. And then she told me that like she doesn't do that for other people. She'll be like, okay, well, if you message me and you're in the city, like enjoy the city. Like,
right.
But she took some time off that busy schedule that she has to come see me. So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, for sure. You got to be grateful for that.
And it was... Man, like it wasn't even 5 hours. It was 4 hours. We took a couple of pictures, whatever, and then I posted some pictures, and she's like, "Yeah, thank you so much for like. It was a pleasure to see you. Like, I really love you and all that. If you have a problem, just let me know. Like, if you ever need help, whatever.
And that brings me to this idea of what we owe people. Right, because that's something like this kind of another way in which I just asked you the last question is like, what do we owe people? Like, what do I owe you? You know, if like I'm your friend, what do I owe you? I think that's a very good question that people should ask themselves, because I don't think I owe people anything except for I'll be truthful with you.
Maybe
I'll be me,
your
like,
friend. Yeah, but like I owe you only making you sure that I'm always gonna be there, no matter if like the distance is far or like the time that we've spoken, like it's just whatever long.
Right,
I'll be there.
You know who we are to one another.
Exactly.
Like, you know that, and so like you can trust in that, and that you'll always have that from me. So you could say that that's something I guess I could owe you. I'm comfortable saying that. Like I'm comfortable owing you truth. Like I'm totally fine giving you the truth about things and respecting you. I can always owe respect. I'm always good to owe gratitude. I'm always good with that. Outside of that, I don't owe you things. I don't owe you that I'm going to give you, like, fill this quota of calling you 3 times a week. Like I don't owe you these things. And I think a lot of that could be because I don't think that people owe me things. Like like I'm never sitting around waiting for people to do things for me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so like
you appreciate if that happens, but you're not expecting it. You know, like yeah. But I also feel the same way with my family. Like I owe my mom my life, and I'm very grateful for that. But you know, like it's that's the circle of life. And then, you know, like I don't need to be that close to you, but you know that I'm always gonna be there. You know, like that's a different topic for different people. But like in my personal experience, that's the way I am.
It can be, but even when you get to parents, some parents, and definitely in certain cultures more than others, feel like honor thy parent.
Yeah.
Like, I brought you here, you ought to honor me. And there's a varying perspective there, which is, yeah, motherfucker, you brought me here. I didn't ask
for it.
I didn't ask for this. You brought me here.
It was, yeah.
Like, so I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna respect you, but like that, like I don't have to do everything for you. I'm not living in service to you.
Exactly. That's also. I'm grateful that also, like, I was born with a mom that understands that. Mm-hmm. Of course she gets
privilege.
Yeah. Of course she gets the sad. You know, she's like, son, I haven't, you know, talked to you in like a couple of weeks. I'm like, well, mom, I'm basically doing the same things. You know, like I'm not gonna be calling you every day to say, oh, I went to the bathroom, I showered, I went to sleep at this time. Like I'm not that type of person. Yeah. Some people do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. If I'm gonna talk to you, I'm going to tell you all the things that I've done in like, you know, 3 or 6 months. Mm-hmm. So we can talk for like an hour or two instead of like a 5-minute call every day, because that's a routine and I don't like routines.
Yeah, I see people make those phone calls every now and again.
I know.
It's like really weird.
And then but that's a problem, because the moment that you don't do that phone call, then your mom is going to worry, or your girlfriend is going to worry, or your friend is going to worry. Oh, he used to call me every day at 5 p.m. exact. And it's one day you're missing, they're like, let's call the police. What happened? Like,
yeah, right.
Your girlfriend gets jealous. Like, are you dating someone else? Are you saying, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Man.
Exactly. So I don't create that. And that gives me peace, because I don't have any problems. So I don't do that.
Yeah. Oh.
People would probably only think that, oh, this fucker is just sleeping, you know, he's just like, or traveling, he's on an airplane. But
my friend just showed me a video earlier today. He sent it to this group chat I'm in. It's like it's like the podcast chat, and it was just some Twitter video of, and this is the story. I don't fucking know, but it's the story that came with the video, which was there was a chick that was in, let's just say like a fucking Wegmans parking lot or something like that. And her boyfriend went in to go do the shopping.
Okay.
And while he was in there, he left his phone in the car. And she started going through his phone and saw some text messages that may have been suggestive that he was cheating. And then he walked out of that car or out of that Wegmans. And then you just see this fucking car flying through and just smack him.
Yo.
And I didn't even necessarily see it, but my friend also said that like an innocent person was also killed.
Yo. See, but that's a reaction that I will never have with anything bad that will happen with, because I think that I've been, like taught like good things. I was raised in a family, like my brain, it's just hard for me to say stuff like this
without bragging,
yeah,
without feeling like
exactly.
Just do it, man. Listen, it's a safe space here.
I know,
and the people have heard you enough; but, they'll know. Yeah, they'll know.
But yeah, it's crazy to see people reacting that way for like just a text message that it might be suggesting stuff, and then what happens after? Like you lost a boyfriend, and it was probably just.
And now you're going to prison.
And you're going to prison. You ruined your life. Yeah. It's like, there's so many changes just for one reaction.
In 10 seconds time, if that.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Golly, man. God. Ooh, man. That's so dangerous. Like people,
listen,
you gotta stop like idolizing people, and people have to stop. They gotta relax, man. People have got to stop clinging on to people so hard.
Listen to this reaction. And it's probably one, I'm going to count like maybe I had like 5 reactions like that. So listen to this story. She's probably going to see this on social media. So I'm dating this girl. We've known each other for probably like less than a month, right? I just saw a couple of red flags, but I was like, I can handle it. Let's go. I was in a club with my foot, like I was injured, so it was swollen, right? But I was still partying because I like to go out.
Yeah.
And then she's coming to the club with her good friend, but I don't know this girl. So she introduced me, the girl. She in one point, like it's like 3 a.m. in Vietnam. I'm talking to my sister because it's 12 hours different in Venezuela. So it's the day for her, the time that like she's awake. And the girl that I was dating, she goes to the bathroom, right? And the other girl like sees me texting, and she just snatches the phone out of my hand for no reason. I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? She's like, oh, you have to come and get your phone, or you have to come and dance. And I'm like, dude, no, like I'm injured. And also, like, I don't know you. Like, why do you do this? So I got really angry. It's like, I started saying, offensive stuff. I was like, just return me my phone, please. So she gave me the phone back. She gave me the phone, and I stood up and I was like, you ruined my night. I'm going home. So as I'm walking outside, getting on my motorbike, this other girl that I'm dating, she comes back to me, like, running super fast. She's like, what happened? It's like, nothing happened. I'm going home. I'm angry. I'll talk to you tomorrow. She's like asking again, what happened? It's like, let me go home. I'll talk to you tomorrow. She's like, Bianca told me that you did. If you know the whole, and I reacted. Mm-hmm. If you know what happened, why are you asking me?
Right.
Go talk to your friend and tell her that she shouldn't be doing this. Let me go home. I'll talk to you tomorrow. She's like, no. If you don't, she's a little drunk as well. She's like, no, if you're not staying here and we're not having this conversation, we're not having any more conversations. Oh, you want to have the conversation? I sat down because I was angry. I told her all the things, the red flags that I knew about and all that. And I was like, this is it. Like, I'm done with you. Do not call me tomorrow. Do not call me ever. And I broke up with her that night because she never let me go.
You're right.
Think about it. Mm-hmm. Don't have a reaction. And then...
Yeah, she wanted to try to control the situation. It's like, no, there's no distance. There's no space, no time. You're going to sit here right now and do this right now. She is drunk. And maybe she might have, but this girl with the car, she wasn't drunk. Yeah, no, she was just at Wegmans. She was just at Wegmans,
and she killed a man, and maybe 2. I don't know, like how the whole story goes.
It's so crazy. Yeah, it seems like the person she was trying to hit, like in the video, he got fucked up for sure. Like you could tell.
Yeah.
But it seemed like another person. She just slammed into, like, it was terrible. But yeah, man, bad. It's dangerous, man. Like people, man, like that's so scary. Because I've been in situations like that. You want to say, yeah, for sure. I've been in situations where. What sort of red flags did you see?
So the first one was we basically met at after another friend's birthday, and I was hanging with one of like my roommate at the moment, and he was South African. She's South African. Well, he is South African. She's South African, and they speak the same dialect. So I think I'm sure 100% that she liked him first because he's a little taller, South African.
Right.
And then I found out that she messaged him first, but when he said no, she messaged me after. So I was like, I'm gonna let that slide.
Right.
And then 2 weeks after that I met her, we had something, and then I left because I was already planning to come to the States to visit some friends. So I stayed here for a month, and I visited, my sister was also visiting here. So we kind of like were meeting in the country. I was visiting my best friend's sister, my sister's best friend, and like other friends, whatever, but are mostly girls. And then in one point that I sent her a picture of me and my sister, she's like, I think you need to start hanging more with boys. And I'm like, are you jealous of my sister? Like, what is this? Like, what is happening? I'm telling you that I came here to see my sister that I haven't seen in like 3 years. And instead of saying like, oh, that's so nice that you're with your sister, you're like, oh, you should start hanging with more boys. Like, what is that?
Super red flag.
So, yeah. But I let that one slide as well. So I was like, maybe we haven't met for that long. So she doesn't know.
She doesn't know me.
And because
benefit of the doubt. That's nice of you.
But because of my social media, most people think that I'm a player. That I like to go around and play with girls and like do all stuff. And I'm actually the opposite, but no one knows that.
Yeah, well, there's players. There's just a lot of just terminology, just rhetoric thrown around.
Playboy.
And it's like, well, what if because women go through this same thing. Like, what if I like to have a good time, but one, I'm safe about it. Mm-hmm. Two, I'm not running around telling a bunch of lies, deceiving people, manipulating them, corroding their mind from the inside. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? But I travel. I make friends easily. Mm-hmm. They like me, I like them. Maybe we're drinking, maybe we're smoking, whatever. And whatever happens. Mm-hmm. Like, is there a term for is that still Playboy and player? Is that still that?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like people use that term with a negative connotation that comes.
It is definitely negative.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Because like, so I haven't had like I lost. No, I'll say lost. Like I didn't get the chance to have relationships because of that. So what they see in social media or what they see in real life, it's me partying, go drinking, and go crazy and all that. It's like, oh no, you're a player. We don't know if you go home alone or you go home with someone or like you don't go home at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so
that's very true. That's very true. That's very true.
I might have that reputation as well, which is not that way because I just like to go out and party and have a good time and meet people, and that's it. Yeah. If I get the chance, I'll do it. But it's not that. Yeah, of course. Not gonna.
I love that because you hadn't actually made a definitive statement about it at all. It's like, but like if
it happens, dude. Like if I go to a club and a girl or a guy comes to me and it's like, hey, I think you're like, a chance. Let's go. Like, why not?
Yeah.
But I'm not going out to look for that.
Right.
I'm trying to have friends and like meet new people and like create connections and like have a good time.
That's what because I have conversations about this with men and women about this all the time when they're talking about being on the dating apps. And like,
I don't use dating apps.
But a lot of people can't do what you can do though. So this is the privilege, and when I say do what you do, I mean look at someone and start taking steps towards them and opening your mouth and talk like that. Like people will lock the fuck up. Privilege. Yeah, like that's not going to happen for most people. So it's easier to go through that whole process, especially in this day and age. And people can sit and just swipe for just hours and hours and hours. And you can have, 20 dates by the end of the night lined up for the next couple of weeks or some shit like that, as opposed to going out, buying drinks, spending your time. Again, it's time and effort and and gas money. It's all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do that anymore. So it's convenient. I don't necessarily think it's the best way of going about doing it, but it's all about like your intention. And so people ask, Earl, what would you say if you were on a dating app? Which I have been before. It's like,
which I support as well. Like that's good
because people are going to ask you, "What are you here for?" It's one of the biggest, probably the most frequent asked questions once you match. Hey, what are you here for?
Well, you want to know what like that person is there for. You know what I mean? Are you looking for a relationship? Are you looking only for fun? Are you looking? You know what I mean? Like
and your answer is somewhat, I mean, probably identical to what my answer was every time, which is, listen, I'm here.
I'm here. Yeah,
I'm here. And we'll see. Like maybe we're meant to be great friends. Maybe we're meant to be great friends with benefits. Maybe there'll be something deeper that happens.
Yeah.
But we don't know what that is. And I can't try to like carve you out to be that person before I know who you are. Like I just have to like let it happen.
Exactly.
And then we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Every time I go out to clubs, I'm mostly with friends, right? So I won't go my way to be like, I know some of my friends, they do that. They're like, oh, guys, I'll be out for like a couple of seconds trying to see if I can find someone. Like, no, I'm not doing that out there.
Yeah.
But like, of course, like you're saying, I got the opportunity to also talk to other people, new people and all that.
Yeah, it's a muscle.
But if you're going through an app that you're not seeing someone and you're like, you have to ask, like, what are you here for?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to the club and be like, hey girl, what are you here for?
Yeah.
What is that? You know what I mean? Like
what you looking for?
Yeah.
Right?
Is this an ice cream? Like,
right.
Like I'm here for like drinking and partying. You know what I mean? I know that.
Yeah.
But on an app, you don't know.
Yeah.
So you have to, but also your answer is the best answer. Like I'm here.
I'm here.
Just let's see.
Let's see what it goes. Let's have some conversation and let's see where that goes.
Exactly.
That's all. I don't know. I think that's something a lot of people have an issue with, because I see so many people is like, it's this player thing you're talking about. Like, oh, you're a player. Oh, like you're just trying to fuck. Oh, you're trying to get married tomorrow. Oh, it's like, it doesn't have to be any of these things. Like, I don't know. I could not be looking for a relationship because maybe I'm not looking for an idea, because a lot of people are looking for the idea of being in a relationship and being happy. Maybe it'd be better to say, oh, I'm not necessarily looking for a relationship with just like anyone, but this person I would be in a relationship with. Yeah. Like this person makes me want to take a step closer this way. I didn't know I was looking for it until I met this person. But you also or open to it.
But you also have to be honest about, like, maybe at that moment you were looking for something and it curved into, like, you know, a relationship or like something else. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe not. Like,
yeah, but you could have still been honest the whole time. Like, damn, you know what? Like, hey, I thought we were just gonna like fuck around for a little while. Yeah, but you're really cool. I really like you. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the apps, but my thing is, like, I've seen this in America a lot. People go alone to bars to meet other people. In me to have a relationship with someone, like, I won't go on a blind date to meet someone and then, like, let's see how it goes. I'll do it with the friends that are like the friends of my friends, the people that I'm actually getting closer with. So I know this person more, right?
Right.
So I feel like on the apps are like, it's the same thing. Going to a bar alone and then waiting if there is someone else available that you can start talking to that. It's like, and they do that here a lot because there's no time. They're working all the time. And then if they're free, their friends are working. So they cannot go out with friends and all that.
Yeah. Also going out to the club or a bar, like by yourself, you're probably really there to make connections of any depth. That you could just be trying to have sex with someone that night, or you could be open to whatever, right? But you're there for something, and you're probably ready to engage with someone because you're in a fucking bar or a club. Yeah, so you ought to be ready to engage with someone. Social media, a lot of people, those dating apps, they're simply there to get their ego boosted, and they'll just gain a bunch of swipes. Like I've seen people just like, oh, I just do this just to build my ego. Like I'll never match with anyone. Like I'll never actually go on a date with someone. I just want to see that people like me. Well, and then I put my phone away.
I'm very naive that I will never think of someone doing that.
Oh, 1,000%. I
mean, a mirror will tell you this stuff. Or like
that doesn't do it. They can't look at themselves.
So that's a different level, or like another step of, like, you know, narcissism, I will say.
Yeah. It's like, well,
for some people, it's a selfie.
I think
some people will be like, you know, muscular thing, you know, like showing. And
they're like I think they're like two different types of narcissists. They're like the narcissists that really believe that they are who they're, the thing, right? Yeah. The monster that they're showing you, like, I'm really that thing. Yeah. And then there's other like class B narcissists that they try their best to exude all that stuff, but you can tell, like, you're really just vulnerable and insecure. Like, you don't actually believe these things. You're just trying to exude them to try to trick us into thinking that you think you're that person, but you're not the monster. You're just not. Yes. So, you know, like that person, they will just collect likes. They will just collect likes. Like, oh man, like it's just like likes on Instagram, like how people get into that, except it's not just a like of a picture. It's they like me. Like they want to date me. Look at all these people that want to date me. You know? Yeah,
because like, okay, on Instagram it's like they like this picture, but like on the other social media it's like the dating apps. It is they like me.
I want you. Yeah. I want you.
Okay, well, wow.
You know, so and then they're just like, and then it allows them to go to sleep at night.
Wow. Okay.
It's fucked up.
That makes sense a lot now.
It's fucked up. I've seen it all. They're all different. I've broken it down in like 8 at least different categories. You have people that actually try to like network on there, which is like crazy to me. You have people that are simply there to gain Instagram followers, like super hot chicks that'll just put up the best 5 photos they've ever taken in their entire life.
And my Instagram is
that's
something.
There's no profile. It's just the Instagram. And then I asked the woman once, I was like, how many, because we matched, and I was just like, how many Instagram followers have you garnered from this app? And she was like, easily like 700-800 plus. And I was like, awesome. I salute you. I'll see you later, because that's not what I'm in this for. But but thank you for that data. Yeah. Thank you for that information. So you have that. You have people that are looking for like, I want something serious. Like they'll say that, like, I want something serious. I want a boyfriend. I want a girlfriend. Like I want this now. Right. So don't hit me up if you're not on that path. It's like, okay, yeah. I won't hit you up then.
But that's the thing. Those people, you won't ask, what are you here for? Because they're already telling you.
That's very true.
They're being honest, and you're not even have to trying to convince them otherwise, because you already seen, okay, that person doesn't want this. Like, well, let's just swipe left and then let's go to the other one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally fine. The thing is that's wrong about that, or that is insidious about that, is you could find someone that you really like if only you didn't speak that way. If only, because you're saying, I want something that wants a boyfriend, or I want someone that wants a girlfriend. But if you didn't speak that strictly, then you would cast a wider net, and you might find someone that is just a bit more liberal than you, but is ready to have a relationship if they truly like you. And then now you're missing out on those people.
Earl, but this is the thing. So like we call this being discreet in Venezuela. Right? You have discretion of like on like the things that you say just because you don't know what you're getting back. But then also society tells you to be 100% real and 100% honest. So like do some people want 100% honesty? Like I have a thing that like if someone is asking for my opinion, and as soon as they say, I want you to be very honest with me, they don't want to hear my opinion. They want to hear what they want to hear. Because otherwise, why are you my friend and why are you asking me for honesty? If you're asking me the question, I'm your friend, I'm going to be honest with you, right? But as soon as I say, be 100% honest with me, I'm not going to be honest with you because you don't want to hear that. And I created some problems because of I'm sometimes too honest. And I'm like, well, you ask for honesty. And they're like, no, they can't handle that. So what you're saying is like the way that they speak, these people talk about, like they're limiting their area. You know what I mean? Like they're engaged and stuff. And it's because they're too honest.
Right.
And it might be a problem sometimes, might not be a problem, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. Yeah, man. I mean, listen, I think the dating world for people, I think it's hilarious. Most people tell me that they don't like it at all. I've only had, I mean, not to say I only had beautiful experiences, but like even the ones where like it wasn't the best or didn't end the best, like whatever iteration of it was, I learned a lot. I know that I probably learned a ton from the person.
Yep.
I had experiences, like not just information either, just just only the sort of data that you get from just being around people. Like there's just a certain type of education that you get from just being around people and engaging with them that you don't get out of just reading a book or watching a docu-series.
But that is also why I am probably very good friends with all my exes. You know what I mean? Because I had like so many good memories that not one that happened to be the end of the thing or whatever is gonna like ruin all these other ones. So like I will say this because I know I have like it's easy for me to do it, but like it could be just a little mature and be like, hey, you know, like that happens. We're not compatible. We don't represent each other, but we can still be friends.
Yeah,
you know, why not?
Yeah,
I don't know, like you saying, like relationships are hard, but also we make them extra hard.
No, we don't. No, but that's why I was saying that. That's why I think it's hard because people make them fucking hard. I think that people often go into them not thinking, let's have two people with their own happiness come and respect the other one and just play off of the other one and share each other's unitary happiness together and move forward. Right? It's if I even think that you are talking to this bitch, I'm going to hit you with my car outside of Wegmans. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it can't even like
you're my property.
Yeah. You owe yourself to me.
Exactly. I don't owe you, but you owe yourself to me.
Yes.
And then I'll be yours as well. But then I mean, like, what?
Is that not, what's the definition of slavery?
Man, so this brought a memory also. Like again, this girl's probably gonna hear this story. So I heard that this girl that I have something with, she basically met this guy, and the guy, this is a girl that wants a family. So always been like about having babies and a family and all that. So she found a guy, right? And then the guy gave her a ring. So she was like, fuck, this is it. You know, I'm finally getting married and all that. And, you know, the years start happening, like passing by, and she's like not listening or not hearing about the wedding or anything. And then at one point she's like, hey, well, let me ask you like when this is happening, because, you know, I'm ready. And he's like, what? Like, I've never mentioned anything about getting married. I gave you the ring so you know that we're together. But I don't want to get married. I don't want babies. Like, what are you talking about? Imagine the brain, the mind of this girl at that moment when the guy said that. It was just like he wanted her to know that was his property.
You're right.
Like, yeah, because of a ring.
Because once I put this ring on you, people are going to start looking at you. They're going to see the ring.
She's taken.
She's taken.
Yeah, which is crazy. Some people will do that.
That is a shackle.
I know.
That is a shackle for your finger.
I know.
Oh man, yeah. So it just, you know, and again, I don't think that throughout this conversation we sound like this, but by no means are we shitting on or decrying monogamy or you know,
100%. Yeah,
like not at all. But people do get fucking crazy with it.
Yep.
People do go way overboard. Man, that's so dangerous.
So if you're a lady and you're listening, please just like make sure that your relationship is 100% good. Like you're there. You know what I mean? Like. And if you're single, enjoy your single life.
Oh, yeah.
Please. Like, people think that we have to rush to get into a relationship. You don't. Not even when you're 30, not even when you're like, there is no train that is going to leave you. You know what I mean? Like, there is no, like, enjoy your single life. Like, go meet people, have fun, have good time. People keep saying that this life is too short. It's not short at all. This life, you make it the longest that you can.
I will say on that train metaphor that you had of like the train moving, women do have time differently in their mind. So that train does leave for them.
No, but yeah, like
depending upon what you want.
But that's the thing. Like if women, like some group of women, they want to have babies and stuff. I understand that. Like I understand like, and in some countries it has to be. It's a cultural thing. It's a society. Like, dude, in China and Vietnam, if you're past 25 years old, you're too old to get married. The men, they literally just
They're
tell him like, no.
But you know, on that same note, it's not just the children. Even though I was speaking about sort of like a biological clock, also women feel like they start that, like, men distinguish with age, and a lot of women feel like they sort of like deteriorate. Like they're not, like, we're not looking at them as sexier or more beautiful the older that they get. So they're also sometimes trying to fight that clock as well. Like the longer I wait,
I get it. Yeah.
Without kids or not,
that is true.
My window or my, you know, field or pool of men is getting shorter and shorter or smaller and smaller.
But that's I don't feel that's good for women. Like
to have that idea,
of like the aging, because aging is normal. You know what I mean? Like
it is. No, hey, I'm with you.
I know, but like. Yeah, like I've seen so many girls in relationship that are not like probably the best relationships, just because they're thinking that way. I'm gonna miss the train. I'm gonna grab, you know, whatever is available at the moment, and then I'm sorry that I put it this way, but like, you know,
that's the way it is.
And then they like, okay, I'm happy now because I got what I wanted. Is that what you really wanted, or it was what society wanted you to have?
No, it's definitely weird.
I am definitely 100% a person that wants to have a relationship, and I want to have everything. You know, I want to have the kids, I want to have the house and all that. I'm all about that. But I also need to enjoy my life in order for me to share my life with someone else. And I need to understand myself and learn and love me before I start understanding and loving another person.
Right. Yeah, that's very true.
I feel the best way to know someone is to live together with that person for at least a while and to travel together. You definitely get to know if you're compatible with someone else doing what I think is these two things.
Yeah. No, I get that. That makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, because you have to like conquer things. Like you have to both put your mind towards things. Like, how are we going to get here? Where are we going to stay? Like, do you panic? Panic. Don't panic.
Don't panic. Guys.
Do you panic in certain situations? You know, like, how do I deal with you if you do panic? And what does that show you about me? Like, like you're fleshing out all these things. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It is like a moment, you're vulnerable. You're there doing something that is probably not comfortable for you.
Yeah.
And then you show your true self.
Yeah. That dating thing, man. It's just something else. Like
I know, again, I haven't
that clock. That I was talking to someone the other day about. You know, it's sort of like this idea of beauty versus sexy, right? Because these are two different things that I think that we're kind of really.
I'm from Venezuela. Trust me. Yeah.
So. When you say you don't want women, or you feel like it's a corrosive idea for women to have this idea of like them, you know, their pool getting shorter because they're, I don't know, becoming a worse version of themselves. I see people get beautiful, more and more beautiful as they age. And a lot of that,
the fine wine.
The fine wine. And a lot of that is because of a lot of the things that we've been talking about, which is how happy have you been throughout your life? You've seen people that are like 50, 60, 70 years old. And as soon as you see their face, you're like, wow, you've been enjoying life for a long fucking time. Like you've been smiling for how many years?
Yeah.
Like you must have been smiling for 40 years. Like there's no way you get a face like that unless you have, like you see a smile before they smile.
Yeah.
You have a permanent smile on your face that isn't creepy like the Joker's.
Exactly.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then vice versa.
You see the people with
the fucking bulldog look on their face. Get off my fucking lawn. Like that guy. It's a real thing.
But it's sad that like that happens because these people are going through their whole life looking like that. You know, they're angry for something. There's like some sort of trauma that they're having there that is not making them feel good. Yeah. That
shit's crazy. And to be able to see that over the course of time work its way on someone's face.
Yeah.
That's fucking sad. Yeah. And then again, vice versa, the other end of the spectrum, these people that you look at and you're like, why are you 70 and beautiful? Why am I saying that about you? That you're so old, but like, but just look at you.
You still have like something, attractive.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's fucking amazing.
I like it. Yeah.
It's amazing. How long have we been doing this here? How long do you think we've been here so far? It hasn't been too long.
An hour and a half?
No, you're much better at this than I am.
Okay.
We're 1:45.
Awesome.
Sir.
How long is the longest one that you had?
The longest one I've had has been probably like 3 hours.
Okay, that's
10 minutes, 3 hours, 15.
Perfect.
Something like that.
Guys, please let him know if this is too boring or too long or whatever. I don't think so, but
People
let him know.
Yeah, I did. No, people definitely do let me know about things. It's fucking hilarious, the things that they let me know. This is a huge one right here because maybe I'm aware of it because I do a podcast. Maybe I'm aware of it because I listen to people so much. But when you speak, as I was saying earlier in this, we listen. Right, we're listening to the tone of your voice, like what words are you using, right?
How it sounds like
speaking?
that, yeah.
Right? And we can tell when you're like a little angry or a little frustrated or a little like I don't know, envious, whatever. Like we can tell these things. We can tell when you're just genuinely happy and like you're just fucking around. Like we can tell all these things about you.
Do you think people also can notice that when they read? I don't read. I don't like to read.
Oh, when they read.
Yeah, like the way that the writer is writing words to be like, oh, this guy was actually super angry at this moment. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that they're like really great writers that do a really good job of making you understand what the fuck is going on.
Okay.
And then, but you also have to just take into account like the personal lens that person is seeing the book through.
Okay.
Like we could read the same thing and maybe you say angry and I say frustrated.
Yeah.
So now because
we're seeing it in different perspectives.
Yeah, a little different perspective because you just think this person is raging, and then that might cause you to be like, well, damn, why is he fucking raging like this? And I'm just like, well, nah, he's just frustrated because of these things. So it's a completely. Yeah, I don't know, but that is amazing
but
about books.
And about the voice as well, because like no one is they're gonna see us, but also like they're listening right now. So
yeah, there are gonna be a lot of people just listen to the audio version and they listen deeply, and you just one of the things that I've just learned from this, and again I've gotten feedback from or feedback about is just you just can't hide. You just can't hide. And, there's been feedback about certain people. It's like, yo, like, why were they acting like why were they so defensive or why were they doing this? And the person would never think that people would be able to see that because in their mind, they're like,
I'm just having a conversation
with you.
And I'm aware now that a lot of people are listening just because you're mentioning. But this is a conversation between the both of us.
Right, exactly.
And in my head, it's maybe like the podcast is going to be like shown to people on, another day.
Right.
So you have to do some editing and all that or whatever. But I'm aware now that we have listeners. Yeah. It's happening right now. And yeah, they'll be like, they probably notice in my voice, like, the ways that I'm feeling through the conversation.
Right.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what's so amazing about it. And to think that, so for me, that even goes into the whole 8 Mile-esque way of living because you can't fake anyway. So you might as well just not. Because the people are just going to be looking or listening to you like, why are you? You sound like you're lying.
You sound like you want to cry, but you're not crying. Like, what is that? Are you acting? Like, what is that?
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing? And a lot of this has come from because the last person that came on the episode, it's fine because the information has been out already because I talked to her about it a little bit during the podcast.
Okay.
But she came with a little bit of an energy of wanting to challenge me.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I guess listened to a couple of the episodes before and felt like maybe I wasn't being challenged enough on my ideas and my thought processes.
Well, that's interesting. I like that.
And I was like, that's great. Sure.
Yeah.
Like, come here and do it. The what's funny is she thought that it was just something that she was doing, like it was kind of like a secret mission that wasn't actually, but like you could hear
exactly
you could hear her leaning into stuff.
They're like, hey, what do you think? Like, what is happening through you? Like, while you're asking me those questions,
so like
you can definitely see it and hear it.
You just can't hide it. That's what's fascinating about it. And I don't know how many other things are like that, where you just can't hide. I don't know what other types of like art forms are like that, where you can't hide, because the very nature of it is to just put your thoughts into words on the fly.
Well, I think basically people, we call it how do you call that, like stereotypes or something like that. If you see a pattern of like a sound or a movement or something, then you know what's happening. If someone might be hiding something, but you already, that's how, like, and I'm gonna put this in perspective on my life experience traveling, right? So the immigration officer, they already know since you're walking how, like, if you want to stay in the country, if you want to do something, like, they already know because of the way you're walking, the way you're like, they've interviewed so many people that they're experiencing that. So there are things, so many things that you can hide, but you think that you're hiding it. You know what I mean? Like,
of course, yeah.
I'm like, there are certain ways.
I'm just thinking about being high as like a young person and like walking around stores and like, I just have to act normal. I don't want them to know that I'm high. Like, I just have to act normal. And then you're acting fucking like, weird. Exactly. So then people are looking at you like, what the fuck is this high ass dude in here? Like, you're fucking yourself over and you don't know it because you're so in your head about the way you look about stuff. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's it. Perfect.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's insane, but like, like in a good way. It's like actually interesting how the brain works in your mind. That's why I told you before that I'm kind of like conscious of consciousness. And I'm like, hey, well, you're actually kind of like reacting, like you're acting weird now. We're like, relax. Just don't panic. You know what I mean? Like, just relax, and then you'll be cool, because you can hide.
You can't.
It's just even
you can hide around certain people. Certain people lack all like social skills, all social like depth perception,
Earl,
and you can just completely fool them.
I do not understand how that happens, and it's like what I'm laughing about. And I'm sorry. It's just these people that don't understand when you are done with the conversation, or like you don't want to speak them anymore, and then they just keep going, and like, are you not? And I'm like, I'm the spectator on like the conversation,
right? And
I'm seeing the person basically doing things with their face and like the way that they talk, the way they speak, the sound of the voice, and the other person is like, nope, like, yeah, I want you to listen, and like, let's go. And I'm like, bro,
their feet may be like, their feet and hips may be angled in a different direction.
I want to go. Yeah, it's like, and I respect the ones that they are able to do it. Sometimes I understand, and I position myself on the other side. So I'm like, I already noticed that you want to be heard. So I'm going to take some of my time to do it, and eventually when I'm like actually really bored or like something else, I will let you know. I'll be like, hey, thank you. It's been good, like, hearing you, but I need to do something. So I need to catch up with other people and do stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's super duper necessary. But like, as you're meeting all these people worldwide, whatever, like, you're interested in people. I'm assuming. I mean, you have a lot of experience, so you talk a lot, but you also listen a lot. Like, you ask questions
a lot.
Are there certain, like, what are they? Or are they just specific to everyone? Are there certain things that you feel like you need to know about people that are going to be in your life?
That's what it is. The last one.
Okay.
It depends on, like, I like you saying that you grade certain people. I grade my friends, and I hope that they don't take this as a very offensive.
Are they going to text you and be like, what's my grade?
Exactly. Yeah. No, please don't do that, because I won't reply. I won't answer that question. Anyways, so I have people that I meet that, like, I want to know more about your family, or I want to know more about your background, or I want to know more about the country that you live or that you are from. And, if someone is hearing me and you want to invite me to your country, I'll go, because I want to see that, It depends on the people.
Yeah.
Depending on the energy that they give me. So some people give me a vibe. They're like, fuck yeah, let's have a proper conversation. I want to tell you my story and then you tell me yours. Some people is like, maybe, we're just like exchanging some ideas and whatever. Some other people is like networking. So I'll do this, and then this is your job, or like.
Has there ever been any question within the whole duration of this conversation that you thought, I should ask him this?
No. Not yet. Not quite.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Is it just because there's been more than enough information just flowing back and forth, or?
No, I think it's because at first I don't know. Like, it's my first podcast.
Yeah.
So I don't know like how does it work. I don't know if you're interviewing me. I don't know. It's like,
we're just fucking chilling.
Exactly. But like I'm basically respecting your position as the one ruling the podcast. You know what I mean? So
okay.
You're basically directing me of like where to go.
Yeah.
And we're having that. It's just a great conversation. You're asking me some questions, and then we get into a topic, and then we talk about it, and it's great. So my brain is focused on that.
Yeah.
It's not on like, oh, I should ask him about this. Or like, maybe I wanted to ask you like, how do you feel about like having the certain type of people in the podcast? Like, because you're definitely inviting like a different community here. Like, it's just every single episode is completely different. You might probably like connect episodes with like topics and stuff, but like each different guest is a different person. So like, how do you the same question that you're asking me? How do you ask questions to them? Like, do you ask questions depending on the energy that they give you, or like depending on the vibe that you get? Like, well, vibe, energy, same. Depending on like if it's a girl or a boy, or like, you know.
Oh yeah, no, it's just, you know. I've seen so many.
So you're asking me this question.
Yeah.
We don't know each other for so long, but you know that I like to travel and stuff. So you are basing this episode on like, you know, traveling and like knowing like, personality, whatever.
Yeah.
But then you have here people that are doctors, or like, you know, a nurse, or like a teacher, or like, or it's just a person that likes to play music, and like, you know, it could be a girl that plays music, it could be a guy that plays music.
And that's pretty much what it is when we get back to dancing or jamming in a band together. Like, I would never go into one band and try to jam with them the way that I would the next.
My man.
When it came to like a dancer, you and I are going to have to dance differently depending upon like your level of knowing this dance style that we're doing, or your level of vigor, or your height, your weight. Like, we could do different things. So like, it has to change. It has to change. I can't have the same conversation with you as I can have with anyone else.
That's true. Yeah.
You're the only you that has ever existed and will ever exist. So like, I could never duplicate the interaction I'll have with you ever again. Not even with you.
Yeah.
The next time I see you, you will be a different version of yourself. So I'll only ever get this version of you right now.
At this right moment.
And then you're gone.
Awesome. Yeah.
So like it's constantly like malleable. It's so varietal that it has to be on the fly. It has to be that way. I've seen so many things where it's like a topic based podcast. Like, we talk about movies, or we talk about music, whatever the fuck it is. It could be, you know, news, media, or it is conversation, but it's more so interview. Like, they're interesting people. They're doctors, they're musicians, they're whatever the type is. But I haven't really seen too many where it's just people hanging out.
Yeah.
Just hanging out and talking about whatever's going on in their life, and however they feel about it, however superficial or however deep we want to go. We can do everything in between.
I like that.
Like, we can do whatever the fuck we want. If you want to just sit here and ask me questions for the next 20 minutes, we can do that.
Let's go.
It's whatever we want to do.
But that's amazing.
And it's simply because it's what I love to do. Like, I don't want to do anything. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to do it this way because this is a fucking awesome way to do it. The education that comes with it is insane, as you already know.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. And like, the deep connection, the wisdom that you get, it's so lost on us. Like, people don't spend their time. You don't know how many people I've had in that chair that tell me that they don't have these conversations with anyone, friends, family, acquaintances, whatever.
Some people are afraid to like have these deep connections and deep conversations about like life, because we're living, like, we are all here in the same boat, on the same boat.
Right, exactly.
So we're living, and then I want to know more about like, how do you struggle with your life? Because I might feel connected of your struggles or with your struggles, and I learned about that. Or how are you coping with like happy things in your life? Because I want also to learn about that. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's what's interesting about
it's beautiful.
Is people are, as much as they say they're not, people are interested in people.
Yes.
Like, they are. Because if you ask 10 people if they like human beings,
reality TV is are the most popular things. So like, imagine why.
There you go. Like, we like people. It doesn't even, you don't have to be a celebrity. And like, people just are interested in other people's lives. Like, that's the reason why social media works the way that it does. Like, what the fuck do you have going on over there? What's on your story? Where did you go?
But no, like in real relationships, like there's so much drama going around just because people want to know everything about everybody. When we talk about relationships, it's like you say that just let someone get to someone or get with someone else and then have a beautiful connection and go. Like, don't try to ruin it. Don't try to like push a button, like, unless you're joking and like you're roasting them.
Right.
But like, there's some people that they are on that path, you know, like they want to, because they're interested in whatever they're doing that they might not have in their lives.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, it's my perspective on some of these people.
No, I think
but
so. But
we're all interested in like someone else's life.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of the issue in relationships is like, you're so involved and interested and concerned with what I have going on, and you don't have enough going on in your own life. That, and this could be people on Twitter just angrily writing about people or shitting on people. It's like, don't you have something else to do? Like, you don't have any, you have no other way of like spending your time.
They have too much free time, too much.
Right. And it could be the same thing in an intimate relationship. Like, where were you at? Who was that on the phone? What was it? And it's like, do you have a hobby? Like, do you like, maybe we should get you some model cars or like get you some paints and a canvas or something. Like,
did you want to see it in the sidewalk, you know, like knit something and like, you know,
like,
read a book?
Let's get you involved in something. Yeah, because you need to put your mind towards something.
Yeah.
Because you are focusing on all the wrong things right now.
Yeah.
So that's just like a sweeping sort of brushstroke on a lot of people's issues in relationships, whether it be afar on Twitter, typing away Twitter fingers, or it's just like your real significant other and you just not acknowledging that we can, again, be two separate people with our own separate happiness, own separate friends. We can have separate hobbies and places we like to go.
Yeah.
And then we can come and touch back. And I can bring you into my world and you can bring me into yours, and we can share some things and we can share our happiness. But if it ever gets to a point where I feel like I would be happier alone, then what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I can't allow you to take it away from me because you don't have it.
Stay single.
Yeah, I'm just going to stay single.
Your life, yeah. And have fun. There is plenty of people out there that want to have fun as well. Then they want to be single. So like, you know what I mean? Like, so, and if you're trying to have this great relationship and it doesn't work out, it's also okay. You know what I mean? Like, stay friends, or like at least try to. Because I know some situations they're not allowing people to stay friends. But like,
how do you feel about people that like use this? Oh, you wasted my time. You know, because you're saying, well, it should be okay if we want to go separate ways. It just didn't work. But I think you have a different perspective, which allows you to unlock this separate part that is also, and if we go separate ways, that's okay. But they're thinking, no, if we go separate ways, you just wasted the last however many months of my life or whatever the fuck it was.
So that person is a selfish person. No, for real. This is what I think. Because that person is only looking for you to do what that person wanted to do or wanted to have. You know what I mean? It's not half. That's not half. That's not 50-50.
No.
That is literally like, oh, you wasted my time because what I was trying to do, you weren't trying to do that. So, you know, we were on the same page. And first of all, how you don't notice that in, you know, the first month of the relationship? First of all.
Right.
That means that there is no good communication. And then second of all, if there's no 50-50, like, what was the relationship about? Stay single. You know what I mean? Like,
people have an issue with that. People have a real issue with being by themselves.
Exactly. So that person that says, you wasted my time, it is definitely like a selfish person. Yeah, that person wanted to have their time be completed with someone else.
So it's like, so you didn't gain anything from this, really? You didn't learn anything?
You didn't learn
nothing. You walked away with this just bankrupt?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was my fault. Oh, well, all right. I guess I have to live with that then.
Thank you for saying that. That's also people that don't take responsibility of what they do.
Yeah.
They blame things on others. It's an easy way to just like, hey, well, you know, it's your fault. you did wrong. Like I'm the one, like, it's just playing victim, right? So just take responsibility of like what is happening between two people or three people or four people, depending like the type of relationship. And just acknowledge that like you might have part of, like, you might be part of the problem as well, or like maybe something is not working because of the way you are. Like maybe you have to work on some things and then try it again with someone else. Just take responsibility of.
I definitely
don't blame everything on someone else.
I don't like that idea of like you wasted my time, because also what you're saying is you stole my time. So now you're also calling me a thief. You're saying that I came with like thievery like ideas, and I came and like and stole from you like a little nasty fucking scoundrel.
Did you force that person with a gun on his head to do what they were trying to do? No. So it was a both way thingy,
Right.
Like, it was like, hey, I want to get a connection with you. If you have the same connection with me, let's go. If not, let's go separate ways and we're cool. Why would you be like, okay, you wasted my time? Like, I never forced you to be with me. You know what I mean? Like, I never tried to like trick you into like, hey, I'm the best person to be with. You have to be here. Otherwise, I'm like, no.
And I'm promising that I'll be here for all of your life. Like, I never said that either.
Well, some people do.
They get married. See, you have to be careful of what you say to people. you can't just be saying whatever the fuck you want.
Words are powerful. Like, yeah, some people do that. They say that when they get married. So, I mean, they promise that they'll be with that person forever. And that's why I don't like. I'll probably get married, but I don't believe in marriage. Because that's just a.
You don't believe in like the institution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You marry someone as soon as you decide that you want to be with that person forever. You know what I mean? Like, it's in your brain that you say like, oh, I actually like you a lot, and we were talking about this. You're kind of cool. I just wanted to like put it in once or twice, but now you're actually cool. I'm having a conversation with you. I enjoy your company. I kind of want to be with you for like a long period of time.
Yeah.
It might be forever. Who knows? But like, yeah. And then if you have that, try to work on the good things about it. Like the relationships, they have like ups and downs and all that, But if it doesn't work out.
Dude, I don't know what it's like in Venezuela, but I can tell you in America, where we learn about relationships is on the screen, right? Fucking romance films.
Movies, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Rom-coms.
Maybe some people read some books, but probably not many. More so women reading romance novels than guys are.
Yeah.
And then just, music, which ain't the best either. If you listen to me, it's really not that great. Like, they're not spitting game about emotional maturity and giving people like their space and understanding people on a deeper level and letting them be them. It's really not that. It's all this super, I need you, you need me, we can't be if it ain't we, and all this sort of shit, right? That is a corrosive culture, because people grow up really believing that is what a relationship is. Like that's real shit, because you learn it from somewhere, and you have to ask yourself the question, where do we learn what a sense of romance is or a sense of relationship is? Where do you really get that?
But you're learning it from like also different like perspectives. Like, let's say Adele, like, I love her, but like when she sings like, never mind, I'll find someone like you. What do you mean?
Someone like you.
Ooh, great voice. So you think like, are you trying to find the next person as the same as the previous one? Like, you already broke up with the first person.
That's spiteful.
Exactly. So are you teaching other people to be like, hey,
I'm gonna find someone like you, motherfucker, except they're gonna be a little bit better. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, so my thing about art is that could be a perspective, and this is the thing about artists, especially musical artists, is. And this is why podcasts are so different, because you're getting whole ideas fleshed out by words.
Yeah.
Adele's going to write a song.
Yeah.
So you don't really get her perspective on it. Really, you get her perspective in a moment of time. she could change her perspective about that a week later and be like, you know what, I was angry, but it was still a good song. That's how I felt. So I put the song out because people are going to hear that song.
I love that song.
And people are going to be in that mindset and they're going to realize that. But if Adele did a podcast once a week, she may be able to come on a week or two after she releases the album and be like, oh yeah, that was a great song. I was in a hurt space, but like, you definitely shouldn't do that. But we don't ever get that follow up. So you take music artists' lyrics as though these are their perspectives on things. It's like, you don't know that.
Yeah.
They don't do a podcast. You hear an album from them once every 3 fucking years. They have to be evolving, like they're artists. So like, we don't know what they think about this. That's why you shouldn't be taking what they're saying so fucking seriously and adopting all of it into your concrete like identity.
Yeah. But also music, it's that powerful. It
is that powerful.
Just like, you don't know who's listening in a bad moment that I'll be like, fuck yeah, I'm going through the same thing. And I kind of like want to do the same thing just to see if I'm going to heal from that or I'm going to move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love music as art because it's a way to communicate like tons of different things, like experiences, and like could be good experience, a bad experience, a traveling experience, like a love experience, like anything. Same as movies, but I feel like music also has like the chance for you to like
I mean, again, a film is just a much slower clip rate. Like I gotta fucking sit here and wait an hour and a half. Not necessarily to feel something, but to feel the entirety of something. Like when you're telling a story, you tell people, listen, right? Because I'm telling you a story because I'm giving you the whole context so that once I get done, there is like a set of morals or values or understanding within that will settle on you once you have the whole breadth of the story, right? So that's what you have to have from a movie. You'll feel things throughout it, but it's not till the end where you're like, okay. A song, much quicker.
That's true.
Much quicker. Yeah. So like you can feel things the whole time. Like you're getting the feeling pretty much the whole time. Like the feeling that the artist is trying to convey doesn't usually happen, or you don't need to listen to the whole song to kind of get the whole point.
Okay.
Like because you're going to have minor chords or major chords. You're going to have certain feelings erupted as soon as the song starts playing, and you're gonna like, oh, I feel good. Yeah. This is a feel good song. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Like I feel happy, clap along if you know what happiness is. At no point is that song gonna turn sad.
Yeah,
it's
a happy song.
It's a happy song, and like Adele coming on, someone like you, like it's like okay, I think I get this one. So you feel it. I think that some people will change certain things. Like you know,
I do that all the time. Like I listen, like I wake up today and I'll be like, I'm gonna start listening to Adele, and it's not that I'm sad. I'm actually like super happy, but I want to hear that voice, that type of like, it's a calm beat and stuff like that. And then some days I'm like, I'm just gonna listen to Latin music because it's upbeat and all that. I want to dance, whatever. Sometimes I'm sad, and then maybe I'll listen to that so I can kind of like put myself in a better place in that moment. But yeah, no, you're right. It's an instant thing.
It's instant. I sort of liken it to because we're just talking about like focus of ideas and already existing energy within yourself. So for me, points in time when I would smoke or drink a lot that I started to feel sad doing those things was when I was already like in a worse space mentally.
Okay.
And then I would smoke or drink to try to get out of it. But within those, it only narrows that vision to the thing that you're already upset about. So now you're just thinking about that thing. So now you're just sad drinking or sad smoking or whatever the case is. I think it's the same thing. You can definitely go turn on some Adele, that's some sad ass music, but be in a good space and it doesn't make you sad.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's all about the intention and the energy you're going into something with. That's sort of what psychedelics taught me is what intentions do I have and what energy am I going into the experience with? Because that's the energy that's about to be there waiting for me.
Exactly.
Right. That's what it is. So that is fascinating, but it certainly happens with music as well. Because I'll listen to like some super savage shit. Actually, a guy named No Savage. And he has a song called The Reaper that I like a lot. It's some shit that is nowhere near my lifestyle. He's just talking about killing people and selling drugs and stuff. But the way the music is arranged and the way that like his cadence on it and like the way that he uses rhythm to hit certain pockets of the beat.
Like hip hop? Is it like
yeah, rap? Yeah, it is. It's like like super like street hip hop stuff. And I don't usually listen to that, but this one really caught my attention. It was just like really grimy and the energy was just so rebellious. It was something really great. And then there's like a little choir in the back, like like, you know what I mean? But they're women, so it sounds really, really good. And he's rapping over it, and they're like all these crazy snare drums playing and his bass.
I'm gonna hear that song. Savage?
He's called No Savage. He's in prison right now. But because he was at like Tyson's Mall, like, and he shot at somebody or something like that.
Like Tyson's
corner,
like
like close by.
Okay.
Yeah, wow. Craziness. Anyway, but the song is good to me.
Okay.
And I don't listen to any of his other stuff, but that song has certain energy for me, and so when I'm in the gym, like, that'll get me going. The point being, by no means do I adopt any of the shit that he's fucking talking about or any of that, but it's a moment in time that he was able to capture, and that energy I can do something with. But but you can be an extremely impressionable person, and those are usually younger people.
Yeah.
That, again, you're talking about the people that are listening to you, and are you thinking about these people? Now we're talking about young people. Because they're learning, yeah. Because they're learning, so they hear this shit, and they're like, oh, I want to be like this guy. Not, I just enjoy the energy on this record because of this. Like, they're not thinking all that fucking way through. They're just like, oh, I want to, like, this sounds cool. I want to be like him. He says kill people. Cool.
Yeah. but that's it's also weird to me, because I'm talking about myself. I grew up listening to, very weird songs, like Latino music that they talk about sex, they talk about all these things, and it never, like, it wasn't in my personality to try to adopt something from the music. Mm-hmm. It was only that I was enjoying the music and, like, I danced to it. Like, so for some people, reggaeton, right? Mm-hmm. So most of these songs talk about, like, dirty sex and,
for sure,
exactly, like, but like at least 90% of them. And then people, so like a part of the population, they hate the artists and, like, the urban style kind of music, the reggaeton, because of those lyrics. I fucking love those songs. I listen to those lyrics, and I'm not that person. And I've been listening to reggaeton since it started, because I'm that old.
Oh shit! Wow.
And I used to go to parties when, like, dude, like, it was my world. Like, at 10, 12 years old, I was listening to these songs, and they were pretty bad at that time.
Oh no, it gets nasty. I remember hearing, like, me gusta como con la boca me pones el condón, and I remember just, like, hearing that, and I was like, yo, y'all are getting wild in these fucking songs right now.
What is that song? Because I want to listen to it now.
I don't know. I think it had like Arcangel and
Arcangel. Okay.
Yeah, and like a bunch of other fucking people.
He is one of, like, the artists that I will listen to, because the lyrics are so nasty, but so impressive at the same time. Like, you're like, yes. And so reggaeton has a thing that it makes you, like, kind of like want to be sexy in that moment.
Oh, for the people that don't speak any Spanish at all, that line was, I like how you put the condom on me with your mouth.
Yeah. And your Spanish is very good. Like,
thank you.
Damn. But yeah, so, like, that I don't know, like, it's just a music that puts you in a, always like a I'm ready mood. You know what I mean? I'm ready to party. I'm ready to have sex. I'm ready to go work. I'm ready to, like, drive the car. I'm ready for something.
I'm ready for whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of music you have here that it will put you in that situation.
Bad Bunny has that sort of music. Bad Bunny and J Balvin make a lot of that type of music for sure.
Bad Bunny, as soon as you play Titi Me Preguntó, which is like one of the last ones, Titi Me Preguntó, in a Latin country, the whole place is just gonna go crazy. And he talks about, like, how a guy, or how, like, I think it's grandma, Titi, how grandma asks the boy, it's like, how many girlfriends do you have? Like, you know what I mean? And he's like, well, I got so many that, like, I just want to take them to the VIP area, and I want to give them, like, all this, and I'm like, I got one, I got this one, it's not a nice song, But you will see people dancing to, and mostly girls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because there's something so sexy about that music. Like, my shit is like Maluma, Felices Los Cuatro. Bro, like, there's something, like, first of all, Maluma is like, he's a very sexy dude. He is everything about his persona, right?
And he's Colombian and he's Latino, yeah.
So, like, you hear some of this music come on, and it's like, oh yeah. Oh, I get it. Like, okay, I fucking get it. Like, I understand why Romeo Santos lives the life, like why people swoon over him. Like, it makes sense. You hear it. It's sex oozing through the speakers.
Have you actually had a chance to dance to this music?
No. See, that's the thing.
That would be another level.
That's another level. Like, that's a
Earl, you will definitely like people do not understand, and it's like they feel like the outsiders, the ones they can't or they don't dance that way, or they're not Latinos. They all see it's just sex. When we dance, like, so Romeo Santos, he sings bachata,
right? So
bachata is like a kind of like a salsa, kind of like sexier type of dance. And Maluma sings reggaeton, right? So these two are like very sexy type of, like, music styles. When we dance, it's definitely because, like, we dance sexy and all that. But most of the times we can even dance with a friend or a family member, and that doesn't mean they're sexual.
Right.
But we dance that way because of the song, and the type of dance is, like, but for the outsiders, they see it's like, oh my God, you guys, like, seems like you don't get a boner or something.
Yeah, like you're a bunch of fucking animals out there.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, no, bro, because we know how to control ourselves. Like,
we know when it's time and when it's not. Like,
we might be for a third world country, but it doesn't mean that, like, we're animals. So
Oh man, no, I think a lot of people think that when it comes to, like, black people and Africans, definitely when it comes to, like, twerking, like ass shaking, rhythmic, percussion based sort of dancing. Like, all you got to do is put a beat like that on, and people are going fucking insane. Yeah. So, I get that. But it doesn't, I understand what you're saying. It doesn't have to be so just, like, uncouth.
I've been to, like, places where, like, it's basically, like, mostly black people. I'm basically one of them.
Yeah.
When I went to the U.S. Virgin Islands, and they were doing, like, parades. I went for the carnival, and they basically, I started dancing, so I like music. And as soon as they started getting closer to me, mostly women, to dance, I started dancing and going down. I was like, this guy can move, and, like, this guy's part of, like, let's go. I will do it, like, and it's so nice to see that, like, because it's rhythm within, like, the type of sexy music. But what are you saying, like, the beats, I can hear them and I just get them and start dancing. And I would just go with the flow, and people would be like, oh, what, like, where are you coming from? Like, where are you coming from? Where are you from? Like,
yeah, man, certain cultures, I mean, maybe a bit, certainly much more accepting than others. But that's been something why I started learning Spanish and getting into all these different cultures, is because, I gravitate towards the people that are really accepting. And if they see you even making an ounce of effort to learn something about them, it's like, oh, come on, come here, come dance. Yeah, exactly. Come eat this. Come listen to this. Come dance. That, like, that's it.
I love that, because I also feel invited. I feel like I feel part of something. Like, you're trying to, like, get me to try your, like, dances or food or, like, conversations or whatever. Like, I'm feeling part of that, and I enjoy that a lot. Yeah.
No, that's it.
It is.
That's it. I mean, because that's what everyone's looking for. All this stuff we're talking about when it comes to relationships and all this super strong codependency or, being independent, whatever it is, it's just we're people
trying to be a part of something.
We want to be a part of something.
Yeah.
That's it. And just people have a hard time with figuring out what that looks like for them. But we all want to be heard. And how many people do you think feel misunderstood? Fucking everybody.
So many people. Like, everybody, yeah.
Yeah,
everybody.
You know what I mean? So, like, we all want to be understood. We want to be heard and felt and seen and touched.
But that's also, like, the way I am. I feel like whatever the universe had, planned for me. It was just to show people that no matter where you're from, no matter what you're doing, no matter how, like, what language you speak, you can still, like, be part of the whole thing. I'm a short Venezuelan guy that basically decided to, I'm very short, guys. I'm 5'3". Venezuelan guy that, like, decided to leave his country and then go to China for the first time, knowing no English. Like, I had the knowledge of, like, going to school and learning, like, the words and the ABC and all that, but I couldn't have a conversation.
Right.
And I just jumped there because this is not my comfort zone. Like, my comfort zone is trying to, like, get out there and see more people. And then I basically just clicked with a group of random foreigners in China. And then one of the guys was a Spanish guy that basically told me, like, don't speak Spanish with me, speak in English so you can practice and you can, better that. And I started dating this American girl and, like, started being friends with the other American girl and, like, and
nice.
Then it got into a point that I was like, well, I feel okay. Like, I feel accepted. I feel part of the thing. But in my head, sometimes it would be like, well, maybe that's not going to happen because a short Venezuelan person, maybe that doesn't speak really good English in a country abroad.
Yeah.
That happened.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what. That's not completely unreasable, right? Like, you did a lot. Like, you really, like, that's not, what you just said wasn't good. Yeah, cool. You should definitely
Brother, I know.
You did some great things.
Brother, I know.
You've done some great things, man. That's awesome.
And it's like, I try to, the way that I post things on social media, this is a great, like, way for people to see that you can also do it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever is trying to, like, get you in a comfort zone, go outside and then make that other place a comfort zone.
Yep.
And then after you're comfortable there, just go to the next place and then just keep doing it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it all at once.
Yeah, definitely don't.
Start with small steps and, like, start meeting someone and, like, dude, like, go on a dating app and like playing video games. Yeah. You can connect with people through, like, now online, it's just, like, everywhere. So
yeah, some people it just needs to be, because some people are so caught, as you were talking about before, in the routines of everyday life. You just need to break away. Just take a different route to work. You just do the tiniest thing. Just take a different route to work.
Yeah.
Don't eat what you've been eating the last 5 days. Just do small things. Just break out a little bit.
Pick a different item from that menu that you always go, that you're regular, the restaurant that you're regular, pick a different item. I don't know, talk to a different person every day. Like, just buy something to someone and, like, you're going to have a different reaction. You're definitely going to have, like, a different perspective. As soon as you talked or you, like, get interested in a different person, not like you're going to have your friends always trying to make a new one.
They're comfort zone challenges.
Yeah.
I saw this guy do a TED talk on it once, and he was like, human beings, as I actually spoke to you and Pedrito about before this, was
Pedro.
Back in the day, we had real fucking problems. Like, I have to go out and fight a fucking lion with a couple of my guy friends and bring this meat home to my family in this
bare
village.
hands, try to, like, build, like, some kind of weapon to use to kill this thing.
These were real fucking issues, not, oh, so-and-so, said something mean about me today. Like, that dude, that was not on that fucking guy's mind at all. He was like, I don't give a fuck what that guy said. I have to fight a lion today. Those were real fucking problems. And we've gotten away from that because of all the conveniences through the technology. And now we're super fucking soft. But he's pretty much saying on this TED Talk, our bodies haven't been able to figure out the difference between what once was actual danger and the danger of today. So right now, if the average person is walking through a mall filled with 5,000 people, and you told that person, hey, let's do a comfort zone challenge. Just lay on the ground. Just lay on the ground. People, a bunch of people are gonna be like,
Why?
no,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking, people are gonna look at me, they're gonna think I'm fucking weird, they're gonna think and they start to build this anxiety as if they are being confronted with a lion that they have to kill to bring home to their family. Your brain doesn't know how to distinguish that. It just tells you you're in danger, you're in danger. And the only way this guy on this TED Talk was saying to get over that is through the challenge, which is sit there and lay there long enough for your brain to start to realize that you're not in actual danger.
Also, get naked outdoors.
Oh, you get naked. Oh, well, see, you're okay. Hold on now. We're trying to create baby steps for people,
step for step. Yeah,
and and again, even the laying on the floor in the mall isn't really a baby step. Again, just take a separate route to work, guys. Let's just start here before you start showing your nuts on Instagram.
Listen to Earl.
Just a little different. I feel like this has all been great. This has all been awesome content on here for the last words. Any last words pod? We always give last words for the people.
Okay.
And I'm excited to know what yours may be.
Man, so for anyone out there, and thank you, Earl, for bringing me here. This has been it's been a really nice experience. Not knowing you that well, and getting invited to the podcast to do the podcast. To anyone out there, just please, step by step, get out of your comfort zone and try to do different things. It's going to help a lot, and try to make new friends. It's always good.
Yeah.
And man, I think you are an amazing person. I appreciate you. And thank you for, inviting me. I'm happy. I'm very happy.
Yeah, and I just have to say fucking thank you for doing it. This is my favorite thing to do. I fucking love this.
Yeah.
This is my favorite thing to do in the world.
Amazing.
And I'm so glad that you came.
You're sharing it with me, so this is good.
Oh, yeah, because I don't want to, we talked a little bit about money before we started recording. And you're like, oh, if I had it, I still wouldn't just spend it so frivolously, or at least on these things. I want to create experiences for the people I love. There's no point in, I don't want to do this shit if I can't do it with people. I want to share these things. I want to share these experiences. I think that's the coolest thing ever, is to be able to share.
Yeah.
I don't want to just have shit and just hoard it to myself somewhere. The fuck? No, I want to share.
You want to share it, yeah.
And it's such an awesome thing because of how fluid and natural it is. You just never know what's going to happen.
That's true.
You just never know what's going to happen. And you're right.
I'm surprised about that. Yeah.
It's weird talking to you at this point, because you just said, we don't know each other that well. And I'm like, oh, fuck, we don't. You kind of reminded me the same way I reminded you that we're doing a podcast and there are people listening, and then it hit you and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
We aren't just having a conversation. We're having a conversation, but people are going to be listening in. And you just kind of hit me, was like, yeah, we don't know each other that well. And I kind of had to be reminded for a second, oh, I feel like we've been fucking friends for a long time.
Thank you. But that's the thing. I like that. The fact that you invited me and then you gave me the address to come here and all that, it gives me that you feel safe. You know what I mean? You're inviting that person. They're like, oh, I just met this guy a couple of times, and it seems interesting enough to do a podcast with. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that a lot. It makes me... Well, it's I could say the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and this was the highlights of my year.
Oh fuck! All right, let's hug it out. Let's hug it out.
Yeah,
hold on a second. That's awesome, man.
Man, thank you.
Thank you for that. That's really dope, man. I really appreciate that. All right, everybody, we're done. Episode 136.
We're done, guys. Let's go.
Peace, everybody.
Have a good night.
Peace.